file formation racing all the way through the top 10. Connor Zilic exiting off of turn 7.
They remain lockstep formation as they snake their way off of turn 7 and onto the long backstretch for the first time this afternoon. It's a 2-car breakaway at the front of the pack. Connor Zilic being hounded by his Junior Motorsport teammate Justin Allgaier.
Race leaders hit the braking zone for turn 10, the left-hander, turn 11, the right-hander. Everybody hits their marks cleanly for the first time through. Justin Allgaier sets his sights on Connor Zilic as the Junior Motorsport Chevys start to break away from Austin Hill.
They will click off these laps at about a rate of 75 seconds or so under green flag conditions. Connor Zilic with Justin Allgaier back across start-finish to complete the opening lap of today's race. They both under braking now enter the chicane at the end of the front straightaway. They work their way through that portion of the course. Now they file back out onto the main portion of the racetrack and head through turn 4.
Connor Zilic has the lead, but not necessarily pulling away from Justin Allgaier in that second spot. The gap may be a car length and a half as they navigate the right-hand turn 4 and turn 5. Zilic slides his Chevrolet off that corner. Again, it is Austin Hill in that third spot. He opens up a gap of about 2 car lengths over Sam Mayer, who's being hounded by William Sawalich. That battle for the lead is a good one off of turn 7.
It stays a good one indeed as they make their way back onto the backstretch, and again they will hug that concrete barrier to driver's right, just inches apart, as Connor Zilic opens it up by about a 3-car length margin. That battle for fourth continues to be a good one. William Sawalich just 2 car lengths behind Sam Mayer.
Sawalich following in Mayer's tire tracks as they go through the chicane. Austin Hill kicking up a significant amount of dust right in front of them as he's riding in the third position. Race leaders are up and off of turn number 12.
One of the drivers currently in the top 12 on the playoff grid wanting to stay there is Taylor Gray. Had a spin on lap number 1. Fell to the tail end of the field, 37th. So we'll see if he is able to advance his progress as this opening stage continues. It's still Connor Zilic by 0.6 of a second over Justin Allgaier and Austin Hill as they make their way through turns 1, 2, and 3 and head to turn 4 and Dan Hubbard.
Connor Zilic so clean to the right-hand turn 4 and maybe opening it up, starting to leg it out a little bit over Justin Allgaier, who struggles off the right-hand turn 5. Austin Hill, he's in third, and that's where it starts to stack up just a little bit. In hot pursuit of Austin Hill is Sam Mayer, William Sawalich, and now Carson Kvapil trying to be part of that mix. Single file formation into turn 7.
The last couple of laps, Sam Mayer was feeling the heat from William Sawalich behind, but he has quickly turned his attention to chasing after Austin Hill. He has now left Sawalich in the dust and starts to reel in Austin Hill. However, Austin Hill, a great backstretch run down to turn 10. He pulls away.
Austin Hill's bought himself some breathing room, and another driver doing the same thing is Connor Zilic. He is driving away from Justin Allgaier as he now accelerates through the final quarter. His advantage now 20 car lengths.
77 degrees, overcast skies here in Portland today for the running of the Pacific Office Automation 147. A lot of fans in the stands along this front straightaway watching Connor Zilic with the race lead. But as we drop further back from 7th position on back, Dan, that's where we find Jesse Love, and he's got Sammy Smith, Jack Perkins. That battle's beginning to heat up.
Here comes Jesse Love off of turn 3 and into turn 4, and you're right, that is a great battle from 7th on back. Sammy Smith only 2 car lengths off his rear bumper. They come through the right-hand turn 4. Smith swings it out wide, now tucks it in low, puts the right side tires onto the rumble strips in hot pursuit of Jesse Love. Nothing doing through turn 6. Jack Perkins gets a little bit loose. Brandon Jones will give him a shot to the bumper. Jones may try a move on Jack Perkins into turn 7.
Eric Jones trying to make a move and get around Jack Perkins. No surprise that we're talking about these cars all bunched up together. They've shown speed all day between practice and qualifying. Jack Perkins still has that spot and the advantage over Brandon Jones as they go under braking.
A couple of Joe Gibbs racing Toyota Supras hit the braking zone for the chicane. All the cars in front of them taking a lot of liberties with the curbs on the right-hand side. A lot of dust being kicked onto the racing line. They're single file off the corner.
All of this racing from 6th on back. Carson Kvapil leading that pack of traffic. Back up the front straightaway over Jesse Love, Sammy Smith, Jack Perkins making his second start of the season here today. Brandon Jones, also one of those Joe Gibbs racing drivers to round out the top 10. Christian Eckes not too far out of the mix as that group of traffic makes their way through turns 1, 2, and 3. Heading to turn number 4, single file for now. Brandon Jones looking to step out of line.
He is looking to the outside, to the inside. Nothing doing there off of turn 4, north of turn 5. But he is almost right to the bumper of Jack goes up ahead. Jesse Love maybe trying to reel in Carson Kvapil. That is a good battle as well, as Kvapil opens it up between turns 6 and 7. Now sets up for the long back straightaway.
They continue to run bumper to bumper, nose to tail off of turn 7. They will power down and grab a gear from second to third down the back straightaway. Brandon Jones has really closed the gap. He is all over the back bumper of Jack Perkins.
Brandon Jones took a peek to driver's left in the chicane, thought better of it, falls back in the tire tracks of his Joe Gibbs Racing teammate. He is only half a car length back as they hit the braking zone for turn 12. Back to the power, and Brandon Jones trying to make a move as they get onto the front stretch.
He is running in the 10th position, and Brandon Jones as a driver, he'll be the first to tell you that his road course results have not been where he would like them to be in this NASCAR Xfinity Series. Trying to change that here today, aggressively working his way into the tail end of the top 10, albeit nearly 10 seconds behind race leader Connor Zilisch.
Hey, I hear you think podcasts are all about true crime, huh? Well, wise guy, the iHeartRadio app's got all kinds of podcasts. We got stuff you should know and stuff they don't want you to know. We got Bobby Bones, Big Boy, and Lou Later. We got SpongeBob Binge Pants and Exotic Erotic Story Time. We got Doughboys, Two Dudes in a Kitchen, Green Eggs and Dan. Hey, we got Elf Quest. We got podcasts for everything on the iHeartRadio app for free. If you don't download that, well, that's not just a true crime, my friend. That's criminal.
Get ready to rev your engines, NASCAR fans. The thrill, the speed, the action. You can now experience it all for free on the NASCAR channel on Tubi. Feel the adrenaline with a library of unforgettable races from Daytona to Talladega. It's a front row seat to NASCAR history. Best of all, it's completely free. Stream anytime, anywhere on your favorite fast platform. No fees, no strings, just NASCAR. Find the NASCAR channel on your streaming device and start watching today.
While we were away, Brandon Jones got around Jack Perkins just off of turn 7, so moved Jones up into the 9th position. At the front of the field, it's been all Connor Zilisch thus far. He's just put lap 6 on the board. Justin Allgaier now nearly 3.5 seconds behind in second, followed by Austin Hill third, Sam Mayer in fourth. William Sawalich is fifth. From Portland International Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Drivers, start your engines!
Your home for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Green flag goes in the air, and we are underway.
On the NASCAR Racing Network.
2x2x2, they're about 10 rows deep of double-wide racing. Taylor Gray to the bottom, Nick Sanchez outside, and they're crashing mid-pack.
It's the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on the NASCAR Racing Network.
NASCAR fans, the time is now to turn your love of racing into free tickets, merchandise, VIP experiences, and much, much more. Rack up fan rewards points by watching races at home, playing fantasy, completing challenges, and visiting tracks. Then redeem your points for epic prizes. You are in the driver's seat. What are you waiting for? Sign up for the free NASCAR Fan Rewards loyalty program today at NASCAR.com/fanrewards.
Back with you at Portland, still 18 laps to go here in the opening stage of the race being the Pacific Office Automation 147 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series.
Let's tell you where your favorite driver is running right now after 7 laps. Connor Zilisch has led all of them and now leads by 3.5 seconds over Justin Allgaier in second. Austin Hill is third. Sam Mayer was running in the 4th spot a lap ago, just overhauled by William Sawalich, yesterday's ARCA Menard Series West winner, now 4th. Mayer 5th. Carson Kvapil 6th. Jesse Love is 7th. Sammy Smith is 8th. Brandon Jones 9th. He was able to bypass his teammate Jack Perkins a few laps ago. Perkins runs 10th.
With Sheldon Creed 11th, Jeb Burton just moved up into 12th, getting around Christian Eckes, who's now in 13th. Austin Green is 14th. Ryan Sieg 15th. Alon Day 16th. Dean Thompson is 17th. He carries the orange and black colors of the Oregon State University here today. And he's followed by Nick Sanchez in 18th, Anthony Alfredo in 19th, and Joey Hand in 20th.
Blaine Perkins runs in 21st. Jeremy Clemens 22nd. Daniel Dye 23rd. Matt DiBenedetto 24th. Brennan Poole is 25th. Check that. Brennan Poole losing a spot to Harrison Burton, who moves up to 25th. Poole 26th. Thomas Annunziata is 27th. Ryan Ellis 28th. Alex LeBay 29th. And Will Brown to round out the top 30.
Taylor Gray, after getting off course, trying to work his way back up to the field. He has gone from 37th up to 31st position. Parker Retzloff 32nd. Garrett Smithley 33rd. Josh Williams 34th. Vicente Salas 35th. Kyle Sieg is 36th. And Takuma Koga shows in the 37th position.
Takuma Koga, the only driver off the pace right now in his debut here in the ARCA Menard Series West veteran. His debut here in the NASCAR Xfinity Series here this afternoon for Koga as Connor Zilisch continues the lead. 4.3 seconds, the advantage back to his teammate in Justin Allgaier.
We talked when we came on the air about the fact that there will be an altered pit procedure, so to speak, for today's race. For more on the specifics, let's follow up on pit road with Jason Toll.
There's quite a bit of difference here that you'll find with pit stops here today. No live pit stops, meaning you don't have the normal crews going over to service the vehicle to get out as quick as they can. When the caution comes out and pit road opens, they'll bring the cars down. They will all park in their pit stall. Once they do that, they will have 3 minutes to complete the work. Now, once they make the pit stops, they'll be able to put fuel in and change tires. But they got to do tires first and then the fuel on the back end. They must complete the work within 3 minutes. If they have to come down before the end of the stage breaks, they cannot take fuel. They can change tires. But from the starting line of pit road to the end line of pit road, they cannot go faster than 63 seconds. So a little bit of a different twist today for these guys to work with down on the pit lane.
It's because a lot of these regular pit teams and pit crew members are at the Darlington Raceway here this weekend. So altered pit stop procedures for the NASCAR Xfinity Series teams here this afternoon. Those stops will come at the end of the stages at laps 25 and 50 as Garrett Smithley just had an off on the course, getting that car turned around, was able to keep it rolling and runs in the 36th position.
Indeed has his black and yellow Chevrolet back underway here at Portland. Still 15 laps to go here in the opening stage of the race. Again, stage 1 will conclude at lap number 25. Stage 2 will conclude at lap number 50. 75 laps makes up the advertised distance for this race.
Hi, I'm Kyle Petty, and I want to tell you about a place that's near and dear to my heart. Victory Junction. It's a year-round camp that gives kids with complex medical and physical conditions life-changing experiences that are fun, empowering, and always free for families. Please help Victory Junction support kids who need it the most by getting involved today. Whether you know a child who could benefit, want to volunteer, or join our team, you can be a part of something truly special. Learn more by visiting victoryjunction.org.
One last exhale.
Fitting, isn't it? The final shot at the Championship 4 comes down to a track that's been here from day one. Martinsville. Close quarters, tight corners, and a fan experience that brings you so close to the action, all of the mayhem will be right at your fingertips. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Martinsville Speedway, October 23rd through the 26th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
William Sawalich, one of the drivers who needs a win in order to get into the playoffs. So far, so good. He's in the top 5. He's running in the 4th position. We'll follow up there in just a moment. Connor Zilisch continues to lead. From Portland International Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Don't risk losing the trusted news, traffic, sports, and weather you get from AM radio stations. It's time to make your voice heard. We need Congress to pass the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act to keep AM radio in cars. When internet and cell services are out, AM could be your only lifeline. Text AM to 39179 and tell Congress to pass this critical legislation now.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
We are getting ready to crown a champion.
Championship weekend is coming back to the desert.
Let's get this party started.
4 title races in 3 days means there will be a buzz in the air all weekend long. Whether from the grandstands, the infield experience, or the hillside, this is your chance to witness history and make championship caliber memories for the whole family. NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, October 31st through November 2nd. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
moment ago, we told you that William Sawalich was having a good run and was in the 4th position. Now, all of a sudden, he has fallen to the 8th spot because of an issue in front of Eric Morse.
Yeah, Kurt, he was trying to catch Austin Hill under braking in the left-right chicane that we kind of warned might be a trouble area. He overdrove the exit of turn number 11, got into the grass, and the back end stepped out. He didn't do a full spin, but he spent quite a bit of time trying to gather the car up in the dry, dusty grass here on the exit of turn 12 and hand it over about handful of positions, still running inside the top 10, but an opportunity missed for William Sawalich here on the east end of the racetrack.
Has fallen to 8th on the leaderboard, comes into today 19th in the championship standings, needing a win to have a shot at the 12-driver playoffs.
Trouble here at turn 6. It is Dean Thompson. He has slowed way down. He's way off the pace. It sounded like the motor was missing, but he is barely crawling along at about 25 miles an hour between turn 6 and turn 7.
He had been running near the tail end of the top 15 early on. Now he falls all the way back to the back of the field, as Dan just talked about. We're just discussing the fact that Dean Thompson is carrying the colors of Oregon State University, orange and black, the paint scheme there, in honor of the Oregon State University located in Corvallis, just a little ways south of where we are today, about 75 miles or so, but things going awry for Dean Thompson.
Coming off a good top 10 run last week of 7th at Daytona International Speedway for Dean Thompson, who continues to backslide after going off the pace just a moment ago. Let's check back in on pit lane, and Andrew Curlin in the William Sawalich pit, who had that off just a lap ago.
Absolutely. William Sawalich, they told him earlier that he had good pace. He did not need anything more than that. And then, of course, we see him in the grass. And that's the biggest thing. These tires won't wear, but they are very heat sensitive. You don't want them too cold, but you definitely don't want to overcook them and be too hot. I'm also in the Dean Thompson pit right now. He is on pit road. I checked in with the team. They said it keeps shutting on and off. So an issue for Dean Thompson here on pit road.
All right, thank you, Andrew. We will continue to monitor the situation with Dean Thompson. While all that's going on, it's Connor Zilisch who continues to lead. In fact, his advantage continues to grow now, 8.9 seconds over Justin Allgaier. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Motor Racing Network. The NASCAR Xfinity Series is in Portland, Oregon for the running of the Pacific Office Automation 147, race 25 of 26 that make up the regular season. Motor Racing Network here to bring you live coverage. I'm Kurt Becker. Kyle Rickey joins me in the booth. Our turn coverage today from Dan Hubbard in turns 4, 5, and 6, and 7. Nathan Prouty on the backstretch, and Eric Morse. He is positioned at the east end of the course near turn number 10. So far, we have had just one leader who has been at the front of the field since the drop of the green flag. That has been Connor Zilisch. We have yet to be slowed by caution, although we will be looking for a yellow flag at the conclusion of this opening stage, which will come in less than 10 laps at lap number 25. Jason Toy and Andrew Curlin, the voices that you have heard reporting from the pit lane.
A couple of cars have gone off the racetrack since we went green 15 laps ago. More recently, Vicente Salas just went off on the backside of the course. He has fallen to the 33rd position, one of the final cars on the lead lap. Also keeping track of Taylor Gray, who got turned around on lap number 1, a driver looking for a playoff berth in a couple of weeks' time. He has raced his way back up to the 28th position. Everybody, however, chasing Connor Zilisch. He continues to lead by 9.5 seconds over teammate Justin Allgaier.
Kyle Larson brings his Chevy Ford Tires Sunoco Racing Fuel.
From fueling NASCAR champions on the track for over 20 years to innovating 94 octane, the highest octane on the market. Performance is what Sunoco does. All Sunoco fuel at the pump meets the same top-tier standards as the fuel used in NASCAR.
Here for Ryan Blaney, 4 tires with Sunoco fuel.
From the track to your tank, you can trust Sunoco to help your vehicle perform at its peak.
Hey guys, Corley Joy here. Make sure you catch Stag and Pennies on all the NASCAR platforms each week. We talk to some of our greatest drivers, winners, relevant stories. You never know who's going to show up.
Hall of Famers, everything. And you're going to get the best race highlights, the best content, the best scanner audio, the best reactions, and by far the best pit road breakdowns of any other podcast. Corey, where can they hear us?
You can find us on NASCAR on Tubi, SiriusXM Channel 90, wherever you find your podcasts. or on YouTube. Go check us out.
Blaine Perkins was running in the 22nd position a lap ago, and this time by got off the track on the backside of this Portland International Raceway and has dropped a couple of positions in the running order. Connor Zilic continues to lead now by over 10 seconds over Justin Allgaier, Austin Hill, Sam Mayer, and Carson Kvapil. From Portland International Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
We are under the green flag.
Listen up, NASCAR fans. Now's the time to turn your love of racing into big-time prizes. Because NASCAR Fantasy Live is your fast lane to bragging rights.
Furious racing here.
Pick 5 drivers each week of the season. Then complete additional challenges to stack points. All for your shot at the grand prize.
So let's get this party started.
For official rules and to learn more, visit NASCAR.com/fantasy and sign up today.
The year was 1993. The NASCAR Cup Series season kicked off with the Dale and Dale show at the Daytona 500.
Dale Jarrett's got the lead. He goes to the inside. Earnhardt not going to get him. Dale Jarrett is going to win the Daytona 500 by STP. Earnhardt second.
The 1993 NASCAR Cup Series season. All the highs and lows. Relive them all on MRN's exclusive podcast, The 1993 Season. Available on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
Connor Zilic continues to lead here at Portland, working lap number 17 here this afternoon. The end of stage number 1 comes at lap number 25. He has a healthy 11.5-second lead over an ongoing battle for second between Justin Allgaier and Austin Hill. And then a pretty good race between Sam Mayer, Carson Kvapil, Jesse Love, and Sammy Smith as they work the backside of the course.
Sam Mayer leads Carson Kvapil as they're kicking up dust through the chicane, as they've been doing through much of this first stage. Jesse Love has also arrived on the scene, and that's only a few car lengths back to William Sawalich, who was on the comeback trail after going off course a few laps ago.
So Connor Zilic, yeah, he's leading by 12 seconds. No getting around that fact. With that said, there are some excellent battles within the top 10. One of them is the battle for second. Justin Allgaier and Austin Hill. They've been going at it, and they continue to fight for that second spot as they head toward Dan Hubbard.
One of the frustrations for Justin Allgaier is his car is just not handling very well through the twisty bits here at Portland. With a right-hand turn 4 and turn 5, he gets the car at impossible angles. Somehow he is making it work, and it's able to keep himself about a car length and a half in front of third-place man Austin Hill. Now, Hill knows that Justin Allgaier is struggling. It's a matter of when is he going to strike to try to steal away that second spot. They exit off turn 7.
And this battle for second is happening well behind race leader Connor Zilic and well in front of Sam Mayer, who runs in fourth. It continues to act like an accordion. One lap, it's Allgaier fending off Hill. Now this time, it's Allgaier who's got a healthy 3-car length advantage.
They hit the brakes for turn 10, and the race leader is already well down the front straightaway as Austin Hill now going to the gas off of turn 12, trying to put the heat on Justin Allgaier in that fight for second.
Race leader Connor Zilic already back in turns 1, 2, and 3 as the battle for second comes back off of turn number 12. Racing up the front straightaway, Justin Allgaier and Austin Hill now over 12 seconds behind Zilic. We'll pick up the battle from fourth on back, all separated by a couple of car lengths. Sam Mayer, Carson Kvapil, Jesse Love, William Sawalich, who was able to get back around Brandon Jones about a lap ago. Sawalich in 7th, Jones 8th, Jack Perkins in 9th. They're racing to turn 4.
This has been a great battle. 4 cars from fourth on back. Sam Mayer has it right now. Carson Kvapil wants it. The gap maybe a car length and a half as they navigate the right-hand turn 5. Sam Mayer very clean from these corners. Now he puts the left side tires onto the rumble strips. Carson Kvapil fades just a little bit. Jesse Love feeling the heat from William Sawalich, who was trying to recover from that gap just a few laps ago. He's on the bumper of Jesse Love.
Good 4-car knot of cars battling here from fourth on back as Sam Mayer pulls it away from Carson Kvapil, who rides behind Mayer, and Jesse Love starting to feel the heat from William Sawalich.
And Sawalich has that Richard Chisler's racing Chevy of Jesse Love in his sights as they go through the chicane. 4 cars great battle, but in front of them, there's an even better battle. Here comes Austin Hill for second.
Here he comes back across start finish as they work their way down the front straightaway. Austin Hill works to driver's right. He goes rushing up to the inside of Justin Allgaier. Now they both are under braking, working their way through the chicane at the end of the front stretch. By the time they emerge, it is Austin Hill who comes away with the second spot in that blue, white, and black Chevrolet headed to turn 4.
It was just a matter of time before Austin Hill took away the second spot from Justin Allgaier. For his part, Allgaier is trying to stay to the bumper of Austin Hill, almost blows the right-hand turn 5, swings out way wide and loses some ground. So Austin Hill now through the left-hand turn 6. He knocks down the second spot. He's got it. Now the question is, can he pull away from Allgaier as they both go through turn 7?
Austin Hill indeed pulls away from Justin Allgaier, opens it up by about 2, maybe 3 car lengths now as they rumble back onto the backstretch. Allgaier slipping away just a touch from Austin Hill as they rumble back into turn 10.
Now, Austin Hill has driven away to the tune of 8 car lengths as they now go through the braking zone. Austin Hill actually overdrives the chicane a little bit, gets a bit off course, but he's going to get away with it. Justin Allgaier still 5 or 6 car lengths back. Now we still have that angry pack of cars fighting for 4th, led by Sam Mayer, followed by Carson Kvapil, William Sawalich, and Jesse Love.
And well ahead of them, Connor Zilich sees some traffic ahead, moving around the Garrett Smithley lap car down in turns 1, 2, and 3. Behind Austin Hill, Justin Allgaier second and third. Then that battle from 4th on back, which continues to tighten up. Sam Mayer has the position. Carson Kvapil has closed in under braking in turn 1. Then it's Sawalich up to 6, moving around Jesse Love as they continue to race for spots just outside of the top 5.
If Sam Mayer is able to hold on to this 4th position to the end of the stage, he has well earned it. The pressure has been very consistent from Carson Kvapil, from Sawalich, and from Jesse Love. And Sam Mayer, for his part, very smooth, very clean through turns 4, 5, and 6. This time around actually opens up a gap, a little bit of breathing room between himself and Carson Kvapil.
And Sam Mayer, no surprise we're talking about him inside the top 5. Knows how to get the job done on road courses and holding on to that 4th spot. The battle behind him starts to tighten up now for 5th. Carson Kvapil under the gun from William Sawalich down the backstretch.
Sawalich takes a peek, thinks better of it as they go into turn 10, closes down on the rear bumper of Carson Kvapil, down to a half a car length as they go for the brakes in turn 12. It's William Sawalich applying the pressure. He's going to have the run going onto the front straightaway.
3 laps to go here in the opening stage of the Pacific Office Automation 147. It is still Connor Zilich well out in front of the field. The lead just continues to grow, but that battle for the 5th position, Carson Kvapil has the spot, and William Sawalich is trying to take it away. That remains one of the best battles on the racetrack. It is nose to tail all the way through the chicane, and now working back out onto the end of the front straightaway.
Will William Sawalich pull the trigger through turns 4 and 7? We'll keep an eye on it right now. Carson Kvapil beats him to it. Again, Kvapil through that right-hand turn 5, sees William Sawalich. Kvapil swings out a little bit wide, may have lost some time there through turn 5, now through turn 6, and Sawalich closes the gap once again. Almost got to the bumper of Kvapil, not quite, and goes through the right-hand turn 7, nose to tail.
William Sawalich knows a thing or two about having to go to work and going on the comeback trail here at Portland International Raceway. Did the exact same thing yesterday in the ARCA Menards West Series race. He has gotten by Carson Kvapil, and now will have to set his sights back on the back bumper of Sam Mayer.
Sawalich gets back on the racing line after throwing a block on Carson Kvapil into the braking zone. Now Jesse Love wants a piece of this battle. He's arrived at the rear of the Bass Pro Shop Chevy of Carson Kvapil, and here comes Jesse Love through the gears.
So after going off the track a few laps ago for William Sawalich, fell back to the 8th position, has fought his way back into the top 5, moving around Carson Kvapil, Jesse Love, Brandon Jones over the last couple laps. A couple of car lengths ahead is the Sam Mayer car running in 4th as we have a spin further back. Dean Thompson goes around after exiting the pit lane just a moment ago, his second issue of the afternoon as we pick up that battle for 4th.
Here comes that battle for 4th, and again, it is Sam Mayer who has it. William Sawalich has very little time to get it before this stage ends. Off of turn 5, that battle comes. It is Sam Mayer, it is Sawalich, Carson Kvapil, and then Jesse Love. Brandon Jones trying to join this mix as well. Again, Mayer takes a brief look in the mirror. Here comes William Sawalich as they exit off turn 7.
Sam Mayer takes a peek up in that rearview mirror, and yes, he does see the orange and white stark Sound Gear Toyota Camry of William Sawalich closing in. Down the backstretch they go. 4 car lengths separate the two as they go under braking and into turn 10.
Ford leads Toyota, leads a pair of Chevrolets here for this battle, led by Sam Mayer. As Sawalich followed by Kvapil. Jesse Love really clamping down on Carson Kvapil as they go through turn number 12. Brandon Jones throws his hat in the ring as well.
It is the final lap of the opening stage of the race. Connor Zilisch is the leader. Let's pick him up on the course.
So far, it has been just a nice afternoon drive in Portland for Connor Zilisch. Through turns 4, through the right-hand turn 5. Well, he gives it a little bit of tail.
Couple farther ahead of Connor Zilisch. One car off the racetrack and has come to a stop. It is Matt DiBenedetto. He has come to a stop right at the entrance of the back straightaway in the grassy runoff area to driver's left as Connor Zilisch will make his way by him. Still under the green flag on the final lap of stage 1. Connor Zilisch down the backstretch heading for turn 10.
It's been a lonely 25 laps for Connor Zilisch. He has methodically driven away from the field, and he is through the chicane for the final time.
Caution comes out for Matt DiBenedetto's stopped car on the backside of the course as Connor Zilisch comes off the final corner. In fact, DiBenedetto out of his car over on the back straightaway here at Portland International Raceway, looking for Connor Zilisch to come off of turn number 12. The green and white checkered flag from the starter stand, and for the 7th time this season, picks up a stage win here for Connor Zilisch, who had built about a 14-second lead back to Austin Hill in second, Justin Allgaier in third, Sam Mayer fourth, and William Sawalich to round out the top 5. Carson Kvapil in sixth, Jesse Love seventh, Brandon Jones, Jack Perkins, and Sheldon Creed, the unofficial top 10, as the back half of that top 10 now crosses under the green and white checkered flag to end stage number 1.
One thing is for sure, if the opening stage is any indication, if your name is not Connor Zilisch, you may be in for a long evening here at Portland.
Indeed, as he picks up the stage win, already a 7-time winner here this season, including a victory last week at Daytona. It is Zilisch over Austin Hill, Justin Allgaier, Sam Mayer, William Sawalich, Carson Kvapil, Jesse Love, Brandon Jones, Jack Perkins, and Sheldon Creed, the top 10 after stage 1.
Here's what you missed last week on Toyota Gazoo Racing. Bubba was totally as he around the pack, managing to across the finish line to claim me in victory lane. Now you're up to speed. You in? Follow the action at tgrna.com. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, LLC.
Hi, folks. Kyle Petty here. I want to tell you about a place that's dear to my heart, Victory Junction. It's a year-round camp that gives kids with complex medical and physical conditions life-changing experiences that are fun, empowering, and always free for families. Please help Victory Junction support kids who need it the most by making a donation today. Any amount will help kids attend camp for free. Help make a difference by visiting victoryjunction.org/donate.
Under caution for the first time here today for the end of stage number 1. Stage 1 by Connor Zilisch a moment ago. It ended under the caution flag after Matt DiBenedetto came to a stop on the course. He has since climbed from the car and is heading toward the AMR ambulance and will head to the Infield Care Center. Pit stops coming up, controlled pit stops here this afternoon. We'll cover them from Portland International Raceway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
More than 200 members of Congress are standing up for AM radio listeners. The AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act will keep AM radio in cars, because when cell and internet services are down, this free service could be your only lifeline. Text AM to 39179. Tell Congress to pass this critical legislation now.
The message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Oh, Kansas.
Here we go.
Make it happen today. You just don't stop giving, do you?
Green flag, we're underway.
The closest finish in NASCAR Cup Series history.
Finish, boys.
Close to downtown, amazing campgrounds, 3 NASCAR races in one weekend, and it's the playoffs.
God can't drive.
Now you're just showing off. But we're not mad. In fact, we're looking forward to it. NASCAR Playoff
Playoffs weekend at Kansas Speedway, September 26th through the 28th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Continuing under the caution flag here at Portland International Raceway as the field makes their way down the front straightaway. Should be another lap or so before pit road is open. It'll be a 3-minute opportunity for crews to go to work and make adjustments to their race cars for the second stage, which is forthcoming here at Portland International Raceway.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Pit stops are coming up next from Portland International Raceway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
We're at the start-finish line.
William Byron on pole position. Green flag is out and we're racing.
We're in the turn.
Here to the inside comes Kyle Larson. He and Hamlin bump.
We're on pit road.
4 tires Sunoco Racing Fuel. The race off from pit road is Denny Hamlin. Eric Jones goes off second.
We are live from the track. The Motor Racing Network, your home for NASCAR racing. Don't miss a lap, pit stop, or side-by-side race for the win. Listen to all the play-by-play action on your local radio station and MRN or NASCAR.com.
From legendary races to heart-pounding finishes, NASCAR Channel is your 24/7 pit stop for all things NASCAR. Streaming classic moments, iconic rivalries, and behind-the-scenes stories from the world's greatest drivers. Dive into the NASCAR culture with shows about the cars, the teams, and the personalities that make it America's most exciting motorsport. Best of all, it's completely free. Stream anytime, anywhere. No fees, no strings, just NASCAR. Start streaming now on Tubi.
Back at Portland International Raceway, the Pacific Office Automation 147 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Stage 1 is complete. Cars now beginning to make their way onto pit road, and once the final car has stopped, the clock will start for 3 minutes for these race teams, Kurt.
Absolutely, and you can only add fuel during the stage breaks. You cannot change tires and add fuel at the same time. Jason, they're coming over the wall.
3-minute clock has started, so immediately most of the crews are going to work to change tires. Left side, Goodyear Racing Eagles going on. The leader, Connor Zilic, was saying that he was just a little bit free, so they're going to try to tighten him up with some air pressure. Sammy Smith, his teammate behind him, Justin Allgaier, he was a little snug, so they're going to make an adjustment for him. Also behind him, Carson Kvapil is in. We saw the run of Austin Hill. He was very happy with the race car. Same thing for his teammate and Jesse Love. So just a little bit of slight adjustments for some of these drivers. They're servicing the drivers on this end of pit road by taking a tear off the windshield, getting them a fresh water bottle if they need to, but they're completing work with the tires, and then the fuel will start to go in. That Sunoco fuel there for them. Andrew, how about in front of you? What are the drivers saying?
Even though there's a 3-minute timer, you'd think that's a lot of time, but there is certainly urgency over here on pit road. In the Joe Gibbs Racing Camp, William Sawalich is 5th. There's no visible damage on the front or rear bumper of his race car. I saw the team make one track bar adjustment, but other than that, he is loving his race car. Further back, Brandon Jones, who's running in 8th, says he's lacking a little bit of lateral grip. That seems to be a theme amongst a bunch of drivers here at Portland. And Jack Perkins in 9th says he's a little loose and once again looking for lateral grip and drive on the exit of corners. So a lot of action here on pit road as teams are putting 4 Goodyear tires and Sunoco Racing fuel in their race cars.
Prior to the start of the race, we heard a comment from Harrison Burton about the fact, he said, I'm not going to kid myself, I won't be getting any stage points. Well, he didn't, and he talked about starting deep in the field, how that was a challenge for him, for his cousin Jeb. They are on either side of the bubble for the playoff cutoff line, and again, 0 combined points for those two drivers, but we've got a long way to go here yet this evening.
80 million listeners depend on AM radio to always be on, delivering news, sports, talk, traffic, and weather reports you can trust. AM radio also delivers vital emergency information when you need it most. Text AM to 39179. Tell Congress to pass the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act to keep AM radio in cars.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
This is what being a NASCAR fan is all about.
Win at Talladega.
Singular history and tradition.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out.
And triple-header playoffs action to ratchet up the stakes.
We gotta go.
Throw in a can't-miss concert, and you've got more than a race. You've got Talladega. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Talladega, October 17th through the 19th. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
Stage break wrapping up. Service is complete on pit road. We will be back underway shortly from Portland International Raceway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Do you have an unused car, truck, motorcycle, boat, or RV taking up space? Put it to good use by donating it to the NASCAR Foundation. Proceeds help fund medical resources for children in our racing community. Your wheels can heal. Call 844-NASCAR-9 and we'll come tow away your vehicle for free. The process is quick and your gift is tax deductible. Call 844-NASCAR-9 to donate your vehicle to the NASCAR Foundation today. Your donation will help our children survive and thrive.
Steven Wilson punched his ticket at Michigan to fight for the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series title. NASCAR's officially sanctioned esports series featuring the top sim racers from around the world. The playoff field has 2 races left to decide the top 4 that will make it into the championship 4. Tune in on Tuesday, September 2nd at 8 p.m. Eastern for round 2 of the playoffs from Texas, live on eNASCAR.com. Brought to you by Coca-Cola iRacing and NASCAR.
Working under the caution flag, the drivers have left pit road. They have regrouped onto the racetrack. They stopped for a moment over in turn number 4, now back underway. And, of course, everything will get sorted out. It always takes time for timing and scoring to make sure everybody's in the proper position before we go back under the green flag in a situation with these controlled pit stops.
And when they come back to the green flag, Connor Zilisch will be the race leader over Austin Hill, Justin Allgaier, Sam Mayer, William Sawalich, the top 5, then Carson Kvapil, Jesse Love, Brandon Jones, Jack Perkins, and Sheldon Creed will be the top 10 when we do go back under the green flag to begin stage number 2, which will take us to lap number 50.
We've talked about the fact that Connor Zilisch has not only led all the laps thus far, but he's frankly been overpowering. His advantage had grown to about 14 seconds by the time that the stage drew to a close. Dan Hubbard, you are positioned down on the west end of the track. You're covering turns 4, 5, 6, and 7, 3 right-handers, 1 left-hander. On your end of the course, where is Connor Zilisch so much better than everyone else?
Everywhere. That is the simple answer. That is the short answer. And really the bad news for the rest of the field is that in that first stage, Connor Zilisch wasn't really pushing the issue at all. He's just that smooth. And when you have a driver that is that good, I believe he's a generational driver. And when you have a car that is that good and you put them together, well, you build up a 14-second advantage. And, I mean, he never got out of shape. He hit his marks. He hit the perfect line and just gradually, lap by lap, pulled away until he had this huge lead. So when you ask me where is he getting it done, absolutely everywhere. He's just that clean of a driver. He has that good of a car. And I don't know, stage 2, folks, these other drivers might be just fighting it out for second.
Kyle, are you shocked by that answer from Dan?
Not at all. Quick everywhere here at Portland. Quick everywhere here this season for the most part. 7 wins this year for Connor Zilisch. Can we talk about his last 12 races for a moment? He has averaged 2.1 since coming back from that injury at the Talladega Superspeedway, sat out at Texas. Kyle Larson, by the way, won that race in his race car. Second at Charlotte, second at Nashville, fifth in Mexico City, kind of a down day there. Win at Pocono, a fourth in Atlanta, second in Chicago, a win at Sonoma, Dover, and Indy. Fourth at Iowa, and then he has won the last 2 weeks. Watkins Glen in Daytona. He had a little help, though, last week at Daytona International Speedway.
Parker Kligerman stepping in at the first caution and taking over that ride, then bringing it home to victory lane. But under the rules of NASCAR, as has been the case for many, many years, it is indeed Connor Zilisch that gets credited with the race win because he was the driver who was in the car when the initial green flag fell. As far as this first stage of the race, in addition or just aside from the Connor Zilisch domination thus far, one driver that maybe had the toughest break so far in the race, arguably Taylor Gray. He started just outside the top 10. He is 2 spots above the cut line for the playoffs, 67 points to the good. He was having a pretty good run and was in line to pick up some stage points. He needs everyone that he can get just to stay where he is, but unfortunately didn't work out well for him in that first stage.
Talk about how there are 4 remaining playoff spots. 8 have been clinched by race winners. Currently 9th through 12th, Carson Kvapil, Sheldon Creed, Taylor Gray, and Harrison Burton. And those 4 drivers need 2 good days, one today here at Portland, and then another good event next week at the Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway. Talking about Taylor Gray, who got turned around on the initial lap of this event, crossed lap number 1 in the 37th position. He's been able to fight his way back up to 25th. Fortunately for him, still a long way to go for Taylor and that entire team to gain some more spots, maybe get back into the top 10 where he was scheduled to start this event.
A reminder that there is more racing to come this weekend on the Motor Racing Network. Tomorrow, the NASCAR Cup Series will go racing in the Cookout Southern 500 from Darlington, South Carolina. Our airtime is 5 p.m. Eastern. This is a great tradition dating back many, many years. So you go back to when that track opened, Kyle, in 1950. That was the premier track, and it still is a premier track to this day for NASCAR, but it was unheard of to have a track, a mile and a quarter, mile and a third in circumference, and to turn drivers loose to go for 500 miles in 1950. I'm sure there were people that said, that's crazy, this is never going to work, and it has turned into one of the crown jewels of the sport.
It has indeed. The Southern 500, always a must-see, especially this season and the last couple of years. It kicks off the 16-driver playoffs. Denny Hamlin winning the pole earlier today for that event tomorrow over Chase Briscoe, Josh Berry, Tyler Reddick, Kyle Larson, the top 5, all playoff drivers. Then it will be Ross Chastain, Christopher Bell, Bubba Wallace, Austin Dillon, and Austin Cindric, the top 10, all of which will be running for a championship here this season. The first 3-race round beginning tomorrow from Darlington, South Carolina.
Our focus here this evening at Portland is the NASCAR Xfinity Series, where we are just about set to go back under the green flag. The lights have been turned out atop the pace car, and here comes the field now working off turn number 12, looking for the green flag, and it goes in the air. We'll get the restart at lap number 29, and Connor Zilisch punches the button and heads down toward the chicane. Austin Hill tries to stay with him, and he does. They go door to door all the way through turns 1, 2, and 3, and they stay that way to turn 4.
They are still side by side on their approach to turn 4. This could get pretty dicey. Connor Zilisch has the inside, puts the right side tires onto the rumble strip, still has an advantage, but Austin Hill not cutting him any brakes whatsoever. He is right on the rear bumper of Connor Zilisch. Now Justin Allgaier slots into the 3rd spot. Sam Mayer is in the 4th position, single file among the top 4. Makes that the top 5 as Carson Kvapil gets around William Sawalich. Your leader is Connor Zilisch.
Connor Zilisch, however, still has a mirror full at the moment of Austin Hill as they make their way onto the backstretch. Austin Hill now starting to feel pressure from behind of Justin Allgaier and Sam Mayer, a 4-car breakaway back to turn 10.
Zilisch able to leg it out to 5 car lengths before they hit the braking zone, and it's Austin Hill feeling pressure from behind. Justin Allgaier and now Sam Mayer are on the scene as they go through the right-hander, turn 12, off of the final corner, onto the front straightaway, single file.
Connor Zilisch picking up right where he left off at the end of stage number 1, and that is at the front of the field here in stage 2 as he leads by about 0.6 of a second over Austin Hill as we check in with Jason Toy at the Care Center.
Matt Benedetto making his way out of the Care Center here. All right, saw you got a little bit of heat built up inside that race car. What happened, and how are you feeling?
Yeah, I just saw smoke, and then my feet were getting really hot, and I looked down, and they were on fire big time, and so I pulled off the track and was ripping my stuff off trying to get out, and when I went to get out, because my feet were straight in the flames, one of my laces got wrapped completely around the pedal, so when I went to get out, I was stuck, and my feet were stuck straight in the flames, and I tried 2 or 3 times to get out, and on the final attempt, I put my foot back in there praying that my lace would get unstuck. And literally, I was just like, God, you're going to have to get me out of this thing. And I put my foot all the way back in there. Thank goodness it came out, and I was able to duck out of there just in time. It was just melting my heat shields and shoes and stuff. But thankful for the safety gear we have in these things, and thankful that I got out.
All right, Matt DiBenedetto was able to walk out. He talked about the heat shields on his heels. Guys, I asked him what the heat rating is on it. He says, I don't know. We tested it out. Literally burned a hole into the heel of those heat shields that they wear on their heels.
All right, thank you, Jason. And Matt DiBenedetto, one of 2 drivers that has left the racetrack since the drop of the green flag, the other being Vicente Salas. Right now, the leader, Connor Zilic, well, he's already opened up by 1.3 seconds over Austin Hill. But, Dan, the battle for second is a good one.
That is a good one. It's between Austin Hill and Justin Allgaier. Allgaier saves his braking for way late into turn 4. He wants that second spot. Through turn 5, he closes the gap even more. Almost to the bumper of Austin Hill as they go through the left-hand turn 6. Hill bobbles just a little bit. Nothing Justin Allgaier can do with that. It is a 2-car breakaway from the rest of the field. Sam Mayer also has his hands full with Carson Kvapil. Kvapil not being patient with Mayer at all. That's the fight for fourth.
Watching a couple of good battles inside the top 5. You have Austin Hill, who is holding off Justin Allgaier, and Sam Mayer, who continues to hold off Carson Kvapil, with William Sawalich lurking in 6th.
Kvapil trying to clamp down on Mayer for that 4th position, down to a single car length as they hit the brakes through the chicane. Kvapil is there, chases the back end just a little bit as he tries to get the car turned for turn number 12. Mayer's going to hold him off this time, but Kvapil still pounding the rear bumper of that Ford Mustang.
Out of turn 12 they come. Nobody's stepping out of line, at least among the top 5 or 6 competitors. It is still Connor Zilic at the point. Austin Hill, Justin Allgaier stacked up for second. Hill a little bit of an advantage, back to Allgaier in third. And then it's on for fourth. Sam Mayer, Carson Kvapil, William Sawalich racing just into the top 5. Further back, Daniel Dye gaining a spot on Jeb Burton for 17th as they all race to turn 4.
Here they come into turn 4. Again, Connor Zilic with the lead of about 8 car lengths over that second place battle between Austin Hill and Justin Allgaier. Now, Sam Mayer and Carson Kvapil. Kvapil has sent Mayer a couple of messages through the rear bumper, and Mayer is not listening. He is going to hold on to that 4th spot. Kvapil again on the attack through the right-hand turn 7.
Carson Kvapil showing some impatience now behind Sam Mayer, again sending a message off turn 7, filling every inch of that rearview mirror. William Sawalich has fallen off the back bumper of Carson Kvapil and back into the clutches of Jesse Love.
That fight for 4th reaches the east end of the speedway as Sam Mayer watching his mirrors. They go for the brakes and into turn number 12. Now Justin Allgaier starting to fall back into this fight as they're up and off and through the gears off the final corner.
Talked about Harrison Burton earlier being the first driver above the playoff cut line coming into this evening's race. He had been 36 points above the cut line. He is now just 21 points above. He got turned around in the chicane a few moments ago. He's back underway, but he is in the 32nd position.
Kyle Larson brings his Chevy in. 4 tires, Sunoco Racing Fuel.
From fueling NASCAR champions on the track for over 20 years to innovating 94 octane, the highest octane on the market. Performance is what Sunoco does. All Sunoco fuel at the pump meets the same top-tier standards as the fuel used in NASCAR.
Stop here for Ryan Blaney. 4 tires with Sunoco fuel.
From the track to your tank, you can trust Sunoco to help your vehicle perform at its peak.
Looking for motorsports podcasts you won't find anywhere else? Check out the Motor Racing Network's lineup of exclusive podcasts. MRN Classic Races, Junior's Journey, The Many Hats of Jack Roush, Richard Petty, Road to Royalty, 50 Years of MRN, Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career, and The Tough Trucks of NASCAR. Find these and more MRN exclusive podcasts on podcast providers and MRN.com.
Connor Zilic, the race leader, by 2.7 seconds with Austin Hill in second, Justin Allgaier third, Sam Mayer fourth, And Carson Quapple completes the top 5, 17 laps to go in stage 2 of the race. From Portland International Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
The Tough Trucks of NASCAR, an exclusive podcast from the Motor Racing Network.
Ron Hornaday, green flag is in the air, and he will take the field quickly to turn 1.
Relive the moments of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series from its debut in 1995.
Checkered flag in the air. Skinner wins with the inaugural for the NASCAR Truck Series by Craftsman.
The legends of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Todd Bodine wins 4 in a row on super speedways.
The Tough Trucks of NASCAR. Available on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
One last exhale.
Fitting, isn't it? The final shot at the Championship 4 comes down to a track that's been here from day one. Martinsville. Close quarters, tight corners, and a fan experience that brings you so close to the action, all of the mayhem will be right at your fingertips. NASCAR Playoffs weekend at Martinsville Speedway, October 23rd through the 26th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
Welcome back to Portland, where we continue to work our way through stage 2 of the Pacific Office Automation 147. A problem for Jesse Love a moment ago.
A little bit of contact under braking into turn number 1 with William Sawalich as they raced for the 6th position, and Love sporting some right rear damage on that car as he works his way around the course through turn number 5. Dan Hubbard, are you able to get a good look at the Jesse Love car?
Boy, right through turn 6, Jesse Love is looking for William Sawalich. He just gave the boot to Sheldon Creed, moved him out of the way dramatically off turn 6, and now he is in hot pursuit of William Sawalich.
And dead ahead, William Sawalich showing heavy smoke on the left front wheel as he goes under braking into turn 10.
Several car lengths to make up for Jesse Love before he gets to the back of Brandon Jones. That is the only car separating him and William Sawalich right now. But the red mist has descended on driver number 2, Jesse Love.
So Jesse Love back in the 8th position, and as Eric described a moment ago, it is Brandon Jones next up ahead of him, running along in the 7th spot. While we have a chance, let's check on some developing stories up and down the pit lane. First, let's check in with Jason Toy.
Let's talk about our drivers currently running in the 2nd spot right now, and that is Austin Hill. Saying the car's pretty good. The only problem he's got is on the backside of the race course around turn 10, hitting the curb that knocks the car out of gear. So they're kind of telling him just to nurse it through and see if it continues to happen for you. His teammate, Jesse Love, you guys documented, he's got heavy right rear damage, almost like a windsock is out there. The problem is he's trying to drive away from drivers like Sheldon Creed. They continue to make contact with each other, but he's flat-spotted the tires. And speaking of tires, Sammy Smith, who was a teammate of Connor Zilisch and Justin Allgaier and also Quapple, they took a look at the tires when he came off. He flat-spotted heavily on the right front during that first stage, something that they have to keep an eye on here in stage number 2. Andrew?
Yeah, trouble for both of the Burtons. Harrison Burton spun around again. He is the first driver to the good on the cut line. On the other end of the cut line is his cousin, Jeb Burton. As they were coming to green, he reported that the rear view mirror fell off. I checked in with his crew chief, Mark Setzer, who said they have to just deal with it this stage. They will plan to have someone go inside the car and fix it the next caution. In addition, William Sawalich, who made contact with Jesse Love just there, they said he has a tire rub about the 10 o'clock mark on the wheel well. They don't think it's an issue, but it's something they're going to continue to monitor as the stage goes on.
So Wallace right now running in the 6th position. Talked about Harrison Burton a couple of moments ago. He's had a couple of issues over the last few laps. Currently 32nd, one of the final cars on the lead lap. They're all chasing Connor Zilisch, who continues to lead by 3.7 seconds over Austin Hill. Justin Allgaier, Sam Mayer, Carson Quapple, and then a couple of those cars sporting damage like William Sawalich with that tire rub. After contact with Jesse Love a couple laps ago going into turn number 1, Love has fallen to the 9th position.
Still some 14 laps to go here in stage 2 of this evening's event. 39 laps to go overall against 75 laps, 147 miles, the advertised distance. Nathan Prouty positioned over on the north side of the course along the back straightaway. One of the faster portions of the course. Nathan, how important is it for a driver to have a good run up the backstretch to set up for that entry to turn 10.
Yeah, Kurt, it's very important as they will hug that concrete barrier right to driver's right, just a couple of inches off of the racing surface. They're going to get as close as they possibly can to that. And as you mentioned, really important to set yourself up down this long backstretch because going into braking into turn number 10, you could be overtaken. It's a very wide open passing zone as they will downshift from fourth to third to second gear. Fast portion of the track, very narrow portion of the track, but a very important portion of the track as turn 10 comes up very quickly on these drivers.
Nick Sanchez, the latest driver to get off course, lost a couple of positions a moment ago, was running in the 13th position, has the car refired and continues on in the back half of the top 20. Eric Morse out in turn number 10 here this afternoon for the Motor Racing Network. It was a very eventful practice and qualifying session earlier this morning. You mentioned it at the top of the show, nearly a couple of dozen cars getting off earlier today. How are things going in the first 37 laps of this event here for these NASCAR Xfinity Series teams in the event?
So far, the drivers have been a bit tidier, and as I say that, Jesse Love goes off course to driver's right and opens the door for Sheldon Creed. He's been going backwards. He lost out to Christian Eckes a lap ago, and as I say that, Ryan Ellis now off course. So I think turns 10, 11, 12 are starting to rear their head. It's kind of quiet first stage, but action picking up here in the middle segment.
Ryan Ellis had worked his way up inside the top 20, but lost 3 spots when he veered off the course, as we just heard Eric describe. We heard the description earlier of Jesse Love. Kyle talked about how he had some difficulty, got some damage to the car. Let's follow up on that story on pit road with Jason Toy.
Yeah, biggest thing for Jesse Love right now is he's got that damage on that right rear we documented, and it's almost made it like a parachute. Danny Stockman Jr., his crew chief, radioed him after Jesse radioed in and said, I can't drive this thing now. He said, dude, you have got a parachute hanging out the right side of your race car. It is not going to feel right. It's killed. Get focused. Look out the front windshield. Hang on through it, this stage. Try not to lose as much as you have to, but they will fix it when they come back down the pit lane at the end of stage 2.
That parachute is taking him in the wrong direction in the running order, just overhauled by Nick Sanchez a moment ago. Jesse Love back to the 13th position on the racetrack.
And matter of fact, he has fallen back a couple of more spots now. And when we talk about the figurative description of a parachute, that right rear fender is all bowed out. It's almost like it's just custom made to catch and trap air. Not what you want when you're trying to get around a road course that is nearly 2 miles in length. Let's give you a check of the full field rundown as things stands right now on the leaderboard. Again, there are still about 10 laps to go here in the second stage of the race. Connor Zilic is the leader. His advantage 4.6 seconds. Austin Hill is second. Justin Allgaier third. Sam Mayer fourth. Carson Kvapil fifth. William Sawalich sixth. Brandon Jones seventh. Jack Perkins eighth. Christian Eckes ninth. And Sheldon Creed is 10th.
All 17 seconds behind the race leader in Creed. Sammy Smith runs in 11th. Nick Sanchez in 12th. Jesse Love back to 13th. Daniel Dye 14th. Taylor Gray runs in 15th. Then it's Jeb Burton in 16th. Austin Green in 17th. Anthony Alfredo 18th. Will Brown 19th. And Thomas Annunziata round out the top 20.
With Jeremy Clements 21st. Joey Hand is 22nd. Ryan Ellis 23rd. Blaine Perkins is 24th, making his 100th career start in this NASCAR Xfinity Series. Then you've got Alex Labay 25th. Alon Day 26th. Ryan Sieg 27th. Josh Williams 28th. Brennan Poole 29th. Parker Retzlaff 30th.
31st is Kyle Sieg, Harrison Burton 32nd, and the final car on the lead lap. Garrett Smithley runs 33rd, then it's Takuma Koga in 34th. Dean Thompson to round out the top 35, and the cars running. These next 2 cars out of the event, Vicente Salas in 36th, Matt Benedetto in the 37th spot as we're within the final 10 laps of stage number 2 here in Portland.
Hey, I hear you think podcasts are all about true crime, huh? Well, wise guy, the iHeartRadio app's got all kinds of podcasts. We got stuff you should know and stuff they don't want you to know. We got Bobby Bones, Big Boy, and Lou Later. We got SpongeBob Binge Pants and Exotic Erotic Story Time. We got Doughboys, Two Dudes in a Kitchen, Green Eggs and Dan. Hey, we got Elf Quest. We got podcasts for everything on the iHeartRadio app for free. If you don't download that, well, that's not just a true crime, my friend. That's criminal.
NASCAR fans, get ready to feel the rush. The official NASCAR Tracks app is your ultimate race day companion. From managing your event tickets to navigating with wayfinding maps, event schedules, and facility info, It's got everything you need to make your experience unforgettable.
Ready, green flag, green
Bring
flag.
your headphones and dive into the action like never before with live scanner access.
Got a race to win, my man.
Listen in on driver and team communications at select NASCAR tracks. Download NASCAR Tracks now on the Apple App Store or Google Play.
Margin between the top two has grown to 5.7 seconds. That's race leader Connor Zilic back to Austin Hill in the second spot. Justin Allgaier in third, and then they really stack up from fourth on back with Sam Mayer and Carson Kvapil rounding out the top five as Dean Thompson goes around for about a third time here this afternoon. That is over in turn number 12. From Portland International Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Every hero's story has a humble beginning. Every legend had to earn their stripes. Every superstar had a dream.
It's been a fairy tale season.
Every home track is the start of something special.
That's just good old short track racing.
Oh, a little retaliation. Holy cow! Learn more about NASCAR regional tracks near you at NASCAR.com/regional.
Jeff Gordon wins the Daytona 500.
Jeff Gordon's rise to one of NASCAR's all-time greatest drivers was one like no other. Relive Jeff Gordon's journey to the NASCAR Hall of Fame with the exclusive MRN podcast, Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career. 93 Cup Series wins, 4 Cup Series championships, and 3 Daytona 500 wins. A career rivaled by few others. Check out MRN's Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
One change in the top five. William Sawalich has been able to move into the fifth position in and around Carson Kvapil. A half a lap ago, Brandon Jones and Jack Perkins all in that mix as well from fifth on back. And Eric Morse had a car off track in front of you a moment ago, and it's creating a little bit of a scene over there in turn number 11.
Thomas Annunziata overcooked the chicane going into turn 12. Spun backwards, used up almost all of the runoff area, which is hard to do. He's been further off than just about anybody that we've seen. Got it stopped just before the tire barriers, fired up the car, and when the backfire came out of the tailpipe, it set the very dry grass on fire. And we've got a small fire brewing between turn 11, well off the race course, about 30 feet to driver's left.
Annunziata coming home with a runner-up finish here yesterday at Portland in the ARCA Menard Series West. One of the best battles on the racetrack is just now leaving the chicane at the end of the front straightaway. That is where Carson Kvapil is trying to hang on to the sixth position.
Carson Kvapil and Brandon Jones, they have been beating and banging for the last 2 laps. Jack Perkins has the best seat in the house for that battle, but it is Kvapil who has a slight advantage over Brandon Jones through the left-hand turn 6. Jones digs hard off the corner, again trying to get to the rear bumper of Kvapil. Jack Perkins also in hot pursuit.
And this has not been a calm battle between the two. They have been physical with each other. Carson Kvapil traded some paint with Brandon Jones. He has got that spot now. Brandon Jones just 1 car length, though, behind Kvapil. And again, Jack Perkins, he is right there in the tire track.
Yeah, 3-car battle for this position. Carson Kvapil, rather, into the chicane as Brandon Jones trying to close back in, following in his tire tracks. And it's Jack Perkins who's the driver on the move as he's closing in on his Joe Gibbs Racing teammate off of turn 12.
That is the battle for 6th, 7th, and 8th. Kvapil, Jones, and Perkins as they race back off of turn 12. Keeping an eye on a couple of cars on the racetrack. Talked about the damage that Jesse Love received after contact with William Sawalich a couple laps ago. The right rear corner of that car really very flared out. Back to 17th is Jesse Love. Moving up into the top 13 now is Taylor Gray. Keeping an eye on Taylor after that lap 1 spin as they continue to work under the green flag. Connor Zilic back in turn number 1, and the Matt DiBenedetto car looks like might be rolling back out onto the racetrack.
Indeed it has. He is 20 laps off the pace after his incident earlier in the event over on the back straightaway, but he has now returned to the racetrack, albeit those many laps down. The field has just put lap number 44 on the board. That leaves us with 6 to go here in stage number 2 of this race. 31 laps to go overall. A lot of drivers been getting off course. Jeremy Clements went for an off-course excursion a few moments ago. He has been racing back around the tail end of the top 20, cost him a few spots. He falls back into the 25th position. Alon Day and Will Brown, a couple of road course aces. They have been going at it hammer and tong for position, albeit just outside of the top 20. The front of the field, it remains all Connor Zilisch. Let's pick him up on the course.
He is making his way to turn 4. There are times when I think an accident has happened behind Connor Zilisch, simply because when he comes off of turn 3, there's nobody behind him. I mean, that's how big his lead is. And then finally, Austin Hill in second shows up. So Connor Zilisch having it all his own way here at Portland this afternoon. Austin Hill now goes to the left-hand turn 6, and behind him by some 15 car lengths is Justin Allgaier all by himself in third. But that battle for fourth, Sam Mayer, William Sawalich, that is a great battle, and it may be gaining ground on Justin Allgaier in third.
At times today, Connor Zilisch has to feel that he might be the only car on the racetrack because he can't see anybody out the front windshield, can't see anybody out the rearview mirror. But here comes that battle for fourth on the back straightaway. William Sawalich, he is right all over the back bumper of Sam Mayer.
Sam Mayer's got a 2-car length advantage as they hit the chicane left, right, through turn 11, now on the brakes for turn number 12. William Sawalich really clamping it down further back. We've got one car out of control, kicking up dust in the grass. And that looks like it's Takuma Koga making a scene here in turn 12.
As he has fallen another lap down, the battle for fifth goes to his inside as he goes off course. That battle, William Sawalich, and then a bit of a gap back to a good race for sixth. Carson Kvapil, Brandon Jones, Jack Perkins, they are all stacked up for that position as they are under braking into turn 1, off of turn 2 through turn 3. The battle for 6 heading toward turn number 4 and Dan.
That has been brewing for several laps now. Kvapil has it. Brandon Jones wants it. In fact, Brandon Jones gets to the right-hand turn 4 much cleaner than does Carson Kvapil, but Kvapil is able to hold on to that 6th spot. It is Kvapil, Jones, and Jack Perkins. That's the fight for 6th, 7th, and 8th. Meanwhile, it is still William Sawalich who now gets around Sam Mayer. That would be for position number 4.
That battle between Sam Mayer and William Sawalich over the last handful of laps. Have been watching two heavyweights go at it in the ring, just trading punch after punch. Sawalich has now danced away from Sam Mayer, and behind them some 20 car lengths is that 3-car battle between Carson Kvapil, Brandon Jones, and Jack Perkins.
That's the best fight at this end of the speedway right now as Kvapil keeps Jones and Perkins behind him through turn 12. One battle that has cooled off is that minor fire to driver's left. The safety crews on the other side of the tire barrier have managed to extinguish the flames, so no issues here on driver's left anymore in turn 12.
Joey Hand, the road course specialist, making his NASCAR Xfinity Series debut here today at Portland. Got off the course a moment ago. That will drop him well back in the running order, all the way back into the 29th position. At the front of the field, it remains Connor Zilisch. The advantage now at 8 full seconds. Let's stick with that battle between Carson Kvapil and Brandon Jones, the ongoing battle for 6.
Brandon Jones is right there as they negotiate the right-hand turn 5. Brandon Jones to the bumper of Carson Kvapil. Literally nose to tail. Here comes Brandon Jones. Hits him once, hits him twice. He does to Carson Kvapil. It actually pushes Kvapil a little bit farther ahead as they exit into turn, or goes into right-hand turn 7. Kvapil locks up the rear brakes.
The Junior Motorsports Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet of Carson Kvapil under attack from Brandon Jones. Brandon Jones sideways during the right-hand bend on the backstretch. He is still right there as they make their way into turn 10.
3-car battle arrives at the chicane. Carson Kvapil overcooks it. He's going to open up the door for Brandon Jones. Side by side into turn number 12. Jones on the inside, driver's right. He gets the drive off. He's going to take that position from Kvapil, and here comes Jack Perkins.
2 laps to go here in stage 2. Connor Zilisch long gone already into turn number 4 as we continue to watch this battle from 5th on back. Brandon Jones able to take the 6th spot away from Carson Kvapil. Here comes Jack Perkins to the inside into the right-hander at turn number 1, but has to get back in the line. Perkins in 8th, a car length behind Kvapil, who continues the pressure Jones.
That battle settles down for now as they make their way through the right hand at turn 4. Great battle for the 3rd spot. Justin Allgaier sliding his machine off of turn 5 and turn 6. William Sawalich is right there, and if Allgaier is not careful, Sawalich is going to take away 3rd. Allgaier protects the low line through the right hand turn 7, while Sawalich goes to the outside.
Ever since that contact between William Sawalich and Jesse Love, the smoke has gone away on the left front tire rub on the William Sawalich machine, and he has gone to work yet again. Continues to close the gap on Justin Allgaier.
5 car lengths the margin as William Sawalich in that Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota Supra now clamps down on Justin Allgaier. 2 car lengths the separation as they hit the brakes, turn right through turn number 12. Justin Allgaier gets good drive off the corner. He's going to extend his advantage to 4 car lengths.
In the meantime, Connor Zilic has already started the final lap of stage 2. He heads toward Dan Hubbard.
Just a remarkable display so far on the part of the young man, Connor Zilic. Here he comes off of turn 3 into the right-hand turn 4. All by himself, still keeping up a pretty good pace, I might add. Not taking anything for granted is Connor. Through the left-hand turn 6. Then you go way back, some 5, maybe even 6 seconds. That's where you'll find Austin Hill all by himself for second. And then Justin Allgaier, William Sawalich, nose to tail for third. Connor Zilic is already off turn 7.
Connor Zilic on the back straightaway further ahead, just making his way into turn 10 is a very slow Alex Labay. He is off the pace. Connor Zilic will have to negotiate around that machine as he is into turn 10 for the final time in stage 2.
Oh, it's a roadblock in front of Connor Zilic. Dean Thompson is off course, and you have the slow machine of Alex Labay. Luckily, Connor Zilic has plenty of time to give back to second place Austin Hill. He's off the final corner.
He does indeed. About 9 seconds, in fact, for Connor Zilic, who comes off of corner number 12 to take the green and white checkered flag for the second time today. His second stage win, 8th of the season for Connor Zilic, as the battle for the 7th position now comes off of turn number 12. Carson Quapple, Brandon Jones, Jack Perkins all dicing it up for that position. Connor Zilic takes the stage win over Austin Hill, who finishes 8.4 seconds back in second. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Motor Racing Network. Stage 2 is complete here at the Portland International Raceway in the Pacific Office Automation 147 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And for the second time today, Connor Zilic will pick up a stage win over Austin Hill in second, Justin Allgaier in third, William Sawalich in fourth, and Sam Mayer to round out the top 5. Then it was Carson Quapple moving up to the 6th spot on the final circuit. Jack Perkins was able to take the 7th position. Brandon Jones kicked back 2 spots to 8th. Christian Eckes in 9th, and Sammy Smith to round out the top 10. Pit stops are coming up next with 25 laps to go.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time-to-talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Are you ready for sights, sounds, and speed that'll shake you to your core? To see NASCAR stars like Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace, Denny Hamlin, and Ross Chastain attack the asphalt? Are you ready to make memories that'll last a lifetime? Yeah? You're ready. Then we got one more question. What are you waiting for? To experience the thrill of a NASCAR race in person, visit NASCAR.com/tickets.
An issue for Will Brown on the final lap of the second stage, making his first start in the NASCAR Xfinity Series for Kaulig Racing, as that car has come to a stop on track, was running just outside of the top 20, and looks like may not finish this second stage for Will, or at least need some assistance back to the pit lane, which is where all of the leaders will be going here shortly for our second break of the event. 51 laps complete. Caution is out to the complete stage number 2. Connor Zilic, for the second time this year, has swept the stages. From Portland International Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Hi, I'm Kyle Petty, and I want to tell you about a place that's near and dear to my heart, Victory Junction. It's a year-round camp that gives kids with complex medical and physical conditions life-changing experiences that are fun, empowering, and always free for families. Please help Victory Junction support kids who need it the most by getting involved today. Whether you know a child who could benefit Want to volunteer or join our team? You can be a part of something truly special. Learn more by visiting victoryjunction.org.
We are getting ready to crown a champion.
Championship weekend is coming back to the desert.
Let's get this party started.
4 title races in 3 days means there will be a buzz in the air all weekend long. Whether from the grandstands, the infield experience, or the hillside, this is your chance to witness history and make championship caliber memories for the whole family. NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, October 31st through November 2nd. Get your tickets now at PhoenixRaceway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
Will Brown has made it back to the pit lane and, in fact, has climbed out of his Kaulig Racing entry and is headed back to his hauler in the garage. There he is. The team pushes that car behind the wall. His day is done here at the end of stage number 2. Still 24 laps to go. We expect all of the teams on the pit lane here in just a moment. Connor Zillage, I don't think it's much of a surprise, Kurt, has led all of the laps thus far and has won both stages by a fairly healthy margin.
It has been an overwhelming performance, at least to this point. Now, you talked about, Kyle, you mentioned Will Brown having his difficulties a moment ago. Will Brown, as you said, making his NASCAR Xfinity Series debut today, driving for Kaulig Racing, but now is out of the race. Joey Hand, we talked about him briefly earlier. Ford factory sports car driver, one of the most accomplished sports car racers anywhere on the planet. But this is his NASCAR Xfinity Series debut here on the road course layout at Portland, and he has been off the course a time or two today, back in the 27th position. And then there's Jack Perkins, who comes to us from Australia. He competed earlier this summer at Chicago in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Didn't run too many laps before he sustained damage, got turned around and backed into one of the concrete barriers. But, Kyle, you and I talked to Jack briefly before the race today, and he was very focused and seemed confident he could have a good run, and so far he has done that.
He has run solidly in the top 10 all day. Raced a couple of months ago here in Portland in a TA2 Trans Am car. Found some success there. Was able to learn this layout, gain some confidence, and so far so good. You mentioned his difficulties at Chicago a couple of months ago. Well, right now he is currently running in the 7th spot with that Joe Gibbs Racing team, just behind Carson Kvapil, as we anticipate the race leaders on the pit lane here this time by. Again, controlled pit stops. They'll have 3 minutes to make adjustments to these race cars. Once they do hit the pit lane, it's going to make for a fairly short final stage of this race. 23 laps to go now. It'll be 22 when they come back, and we'll be close to about 20 laps for that final run to the finish.
And one has to think that as strong as Connor Zillage is, and even stronger on these long green flag runs that we've had here in this event today, we've had, a stretch of 25. We've had a stretch of 23 laps consecutively under the green flag, and he just continues to open up. The way things are going, about the only scenario, and you tell me if you think I'm out to lunch on this, if there would be a late caution in this race that would set up a restart with just a couple of laps to go, maybe even an overtime finish, is the only hope somebody has is try to get in front of him on a restart.
May not even be on a late race restart. Could be on the next restart, because there is a very aggressive Austin Hill that will start on the front row with him, and that'll the closest Austin has been to the front here today, and will restart in the 2nd spot if all goes well on the pit lane, of course, here coming up in just a moment. Justin Allgaier, William Sawalich, one of those drivers desperate for a win, deep in the championship standings, and he knows that this may be his best shot at getting a checkered flag, running 4th right now. Sam Mayer 5th, Carson Kvapil. So there's a lot of drivers up there toward the front that might be able to challenge Connor on the restart. We'll find out here in due time as pit road is open, and all of the front runners, in fact the entire field, coming to the pit lane once the final car has come to a stop in their pit stall on pit road. The clock will begin and crews will begin work.
Got to ask Jason Toy. Jason, I know you played college football. Already today, the number 1 team, Texas, got knocked off by Ohio State. Okay, so what's your thought? Anybody have a chance to beat Connor here this evening?
If you're going to do it, you better do it on the restart, because that's the only opportunity, because once he gets out in front of that clean air, he is certainly gone. He's been very happy with the race car. Matter of fact, they aren't going to make any adjustments this time when they get the clock to start rolling things here for him. But if you're going to get Connor Zilic, you better do it from the drop of this green flag. And one of the things that they've talked about here, especially with Justin Allgaier, who sits about 2 pit stalls behind him, is the fact that the aggression level is going to go up here in this final stage. Already started to see it amp up a little bit. Now the 3-minute clock has started as the crews go to work. They'll immediately go to work to the left side of the race cars to put on the fresh Racing Goodyear Eagles. Now, a reminder, they can't do both fuel and tires at the same time, so they're going to go ahead and get the tires on and then come back and do the fuel. Only 5 guys that are traveling with the crew, plus one other crew member to service the driver, and that's usually with a water bottle and a tear-off the windshield. Further back, Justin Allgaier going to make a chassis adjustment for him. He's continuing to get a little bit better. Also back there, Austin Hill. He continues to complain that he's still a little bit loose, but it's better on this run. His teammate Jesse Love, well, they went to work on the left side to put the tires on, but one crew member went to work on the right side. We talked about that damage that he had. It was like a parachute hanging out the right side of his Chevrolet. They're going to work on that to try to take advantage of the 3-minute time limit that they have here to make that happen. Also, too, we're seeing some air blowers go inside the race car to try to cool down some of these drivers. Andrew?
Yeah, on my end of pit road, William Sawalich, who's P4 there, they took a hammer to the left front trying to fix the damage. Actually, crew chief Jeff Mendering is currently putting some tape on there to fix that race car. Overall, he's pretty happy. He just wants to be a little bit freer. They're actually going to go back to the original setup that they started the race with. In 7th, Jack Perkins said he needs a little bit more turn and rear lateral grip on the front straightaway. Brandon Jones, his teammate in 8th, says he's got better grip, better lateral drive, overall a better run for him. As we look at the cut line, Jeb Burton, remember earlier in the stage his rear view mirror fell off. That team is now going to go to work on that and fix that. He's minus 19 to the cut line. To his cousin Harrison Burton, they're checking some right rear damage. He's plus 19. He said they went backwards that last run, so they're going to try to help the number 25 out this next time. Bye, guys.
All right, thank you very much down on the pit lane as these teams into the final minute now of this final break here as we get set for the start of the final stage. Does anybody have anything for Connor Zilic, who has led all the laps thus far?
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
3-minute clock allowing these teams to pit has hit 0, and the cars begin to make their way back out onto the course. They'll reline or they'll line up for the restart coming up. We'll have about 22 laps to go when we go back under the green flag to finish this one up here tonight from Portland International Raceway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Welcome to more.
Green flag is in the air.
More action.
Photo finish.
More awesome. More smoke. More sizzle. More soar. More roar. More friends. More family. Welcome to the one place where no matter who you are, you'll leave with something you'll never forget. Welcome to NASCAR. Oh, Kansas.
Here we go. Second half today.
You just don't stop giving, do you?
Green flag, we're underway.
The closest finish in NASCAR Cup Series history.
Finish, boys.
Close to downtown, amazing campgrounds, 3 NASCAR races in one weekend, and it's the playoffs.
You guys can't drive.
Now you're just showing off. But we're not mad. In fact, we're looking forward to it. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Kansas Speedway, September 26th through the 28th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Portland International Raceway, getting set for the final stage of the Pacific Office Automation 147 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Just about everybody has made their way back out onto the course, but Jason Toy, one driver, remains on the pit lane after suffering some damage there in stage 2.
Yeah, we talked about the damage that Jesse Love got out on the racetrack after contact from William Sawalich there. They really pushed that right rear fender out and made it truly like a windsock out there. So they went to work on it, had to do some work underneath, right behind the back right wheel. So the problem is, it's beyond the 3-minute mark. It's beyond that 3-minute mark, so they're definitely going to penalty. They'll have to go to the back of the field. Andrew?
Yeah, Will Brown is out of this race. What happened from your perspective?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Something's broken in the rear end. It just seems like it wasn't driving right for a few laps there, and didn't feel very good throughout the whole race, to be honest. But just at the end there, something must have broken, and yeah, it's in the rear end. Whatever it is, I haven't quite asked yet, but unfortunately, we're out of the race because of it.
I heard your cool suit broke too. How difficult were those final laps?
Yeah, it was just like it was pumping bubbles through, and it started to get really hot. And I think that happened just before the first stage, but I didn't quite notice. I thought it'd be all right. And then the second stage was just cooking in there, so was hoping to fix that. But yeah, obviously that happened. I felt sorry for the calling crew because I know they really wanted to have a good run this weekend. Very appreciative for them for getting me back, and yeah, disappointing for the whole crew on the 11 car, and yeah, disappointing.
Unfortunate early exit for Will Brown here in Portland.
Yeah, driving, as he mentioned, as Will referenced, for Colleague Racing here this weekend. Other cars out of their stable, drivers from their stable. We got Daniel Dye back in the 25th position, checking on Christian Eckes. He's a driver that's got to have a win if he wants to make it to the playoffs. He is just inside the top 10. But despite the challenges that Colleague Racing has had in this NASCAR Xfinity Series, it has not been a typical Colleague kind of year, Kyle, but you have to respect the fact they have rolled up their shirt sleeves and they have said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to invest even more in this sport beginning in 2026.
That announcement coming earlier this week as they go NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series racing next year as they partner up with Ram and their return to the series and the sport for the 2026 season. They'll make their Truck Series debut next year at Daytona with not one, not two, not three, not 4, but 5 teams. So they're going to have their hands full here over the next couple of months as they are now entered in all 3 of NASCAR's national series. It's going to be a busy offseason, no doubt, for that program as they get set for to put 5 new teams together for the Truck Series season.
There will be a lot going on there, and we will look forward to that addition to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series in 2026. Field is back rolling around this racetrack here at Portland under the caution flag. It will be, we're going to close in probably on about 20 laps to go by the time we get the final stage of the race underway. It gives us a moment to remind everyone that this NASCAR Xfinity Series, the final race of the regular season, coming up 1 week from tonight at the Worldwide Technology Raceway in Madison, Illinois. 7 p.m. Eastern, our airtime on the Motor Racing Network. And again, that will be the regular season finale for the NASCAR Xfinity Series.
And Jason Toy, it has been a busy couple of weeks for these race teams. Last week at Daytona International Speedway, just over 3,000 miles away from there. We race here tonight and then back to St. Louis a week from tonight.
Yeah, definitely has been a busy time. Of course, Friday night they finished up. They got the haulers back in early Saturday morning, turned the haulers around, got the cars loaded up. And we're talking about these road racing cars that they brought out here to Portland, hit the road on Tuesday morning, made their way out here, and got here Thursday night and Friday. Now, the big thing about it, they're not going to go all the way back to their home base. Most of these teams right there in the North Carolina area, they're just going to go straight to St. Louis. They're going to bring other haulers to meet them in St. Louis. Just about they're going to go 3/4 of the way back across the country, but those other haulers are going to bring the cars that will race over at the there at the Gateway next weekend that you talked about, and that's the big thing for them. So they're going to be able to find a parking lot somewhere in the greater St. Louis area and go to work out there coming up later this week before having these haulers finally make a return back home. But if you're the drivers of these haulers and the road crews, it's a long couple of weeks.
And Kurt, that's something we have seen before a couple of years ago, the West Coast Swing, when this series raced at Vegas, Phoenix, Auto Club back to back to back. They would bring out extra haulers and swap cars out right there in the Speedway parking lot before moving on to the next destination.
And one follow-up thought on the Worldwide Technology Raceway. For those of us who grew up and still reside in central Illinois, It's a big deal to have NASCAR racing at the Worldwide Technology Raceway. This year, they get a NASCAR Cup Series playoff race, and they get the final regular season event for this NASCAR Xfinity Series. Here comes the field now here at Portland, back off of turn number 12. Final stage of the race gets underway. 21 laps to go. Can anyone beat Connor Zilisch on this restart? The answer is no. He's already in front by a car length as he leads the field through the chicane. He's got Austin Hill behind him as they work their way back out onto the end of the front straightaway and head for turn 4.
Connor Zilisch gets exactly what he wants, and that's clean air and clear racetrack. Through the right-hand turn 4, now a right-hand turn 5, trying to pull away a little bit from Austin Hill and successful in doing so. Hill has his mirrors full of Justin Allgaier, Carson Kvapil, and now William Sawalich slots into that 5th position. Single file all the way as Jack Perkins makes a nice nifty move to the inside of Brandon Jones. Your leader is Connor Zilisch.
The white, red, and blue WeatherTech Chevrolet for Connor Zilisch. Back out front, that battle for second tightens up. Justin Allgaier filling every inch of the rearview mirror of Austin Hill.
Zilisch continues to tiptoe away. 6 car lengths is advantage when they hit the braking zone. And it's Austin Hill, Justin Allgaier, Carson Kvapil, and William Sawalich through the right-hand turn number 12 as Connor Zilisch goes back to the throttle.
20 laps to go this time by. Connor Zilisch has already been able to break away by about 5 or 6 car lengths from Austin Hill in second. Justin Allgaier there in third. Then it's Carson Kvapil, William Sawalich, the top 5. One car stepping out of line further back under braking. That is Jack Perkins, running for Joe Gibbs Racing, pulls up alongside Sam Mayer in a race for the 6th position as they are nose-to-nose, side-by-side, heading to turn 4.
Give the advantage to 6th position to Jack Perkins. Boy, and Sam Mayer tried to keep his braking to way late, even locked him up into the corner. But credit to Jack Perkins. He takes over that 6th spot. Sam Mayer right behind him, and behind him is Brandon Jones. Sammy Smith also in the battle with Christian Eckes. Nick Sanchez trying to work his way back into the top 10, but it is Connor Zilisch leading the field off turn 7.
You can throw a blanket over these cars that are racing just inside the top 5 as Carson Kvapil closes in now on his teammate Justin Allgaier. Farther back, Jack Perkins continues to have Sam Mayer directly in his rear view as they head into turn 10.
And Mayer starting to fall into the clutches of Brandon Jones, another Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota on the move, trying to fill his mirrors as they work off of the final corner. Brandon Jones gets a good drive. Sam Mayer's going to have to defend down the front stretch.
Mayer trying to hang on to the 7th position, having already lost 6th to Jack Perkins. Jack Perkins started in 12th. He spent the first 2 stages right outside the top 10 or in the back half of the top 10. He has now worked his way up into 6th. Dan, we're starting to understand why Jack Perkins has a worldwide reputation.
He has been kind of up and down the field throughout the afternoon, but man, he is a tough driver who does not give up, and so far it has paid off in the 6th position. Up ahead is William Sawalich in front of Perkins. Not an easy pass at all, but Perkins is going to give it a go. They make their way to the left-hand turn 6. About 4 car lengths separate Sawalich from Jack Perkins as they negotiate the right-hand turn 7.
And William Sawalich has to play defense on his Joe Gibbs Racing teammate for this weekend of Jack Perkins while trying not to let Carson Kvapil slip away from his crosshairs. They make their way down the backstretch again, heading into the braking zone, turn 10.
Meanwhile, Connor Zilisch is just streaking away from second place Austin Hill. That battle for second is starting to shape up. Here comes Justin Allgaier. He's applying pressure off of the final corner.
That battle 1.3 seconds behind Connor Zilisch last time by. Let's see how it grows this time as Zilisch continues to tiptoe away as they cross the start-finish line. Now 2 full seconds back to Austin Hill in the runner-up spot. Justin Allgaier within a car length in third. Bit of a gap back to Carson Kvapil, William Sawalich, Jack Perkins, and Sam Mayer. That's the top 7 as the battle for second tightens up a bit in turn 4.
Give credit to Justin Allgaier for that as they approach turn 4, the right-hander. Austin Hill rides in that 2nd spot, but he's not pulling away from Allgaier at all. In fact, Allgaier, who struggled in stage 1, now looks much cleaner through the right-hand turn 5 and the left-hand turn 6. He may have something for Austin Hill for that 2nd spot. Hill accelerates and now brakes hard in the right-hand turn 7 with Justin Allgaier in tow.
The 2 drivers of Austin Hill and Justin Allgaier have been playing a game of me and my shadow all day long. This time it's Austin Hill who has the advantage. However, Justin Allgaier continues to close the gap.
Austin Hill actually had to get offline, throw a little bit of a block to Justin Allgaier down the straightaway that time. Allgaier still 2 car lengths behind as they hit the braking zone. Behind them, Carson Kvapil starting to feel the heat from a couple of Joe Gibbs drivers, Sawalich and Perkins.
Last time by, Connor Zilic had the fastest lap of anybody on the racetrack. Second quick was Jack Perkins, who's back in that 6th position, and he is trying to catch up to the back bumper of William Sawalich. Carson Kvapil. Perkins begins closing in even more. Again, that is a battle from 4th position on back. The battle for second's a good one. Dan, it's hard to decide which one on which to focus.
It is happening all through turns 4, 5, and 6. Allgaier able to carry a lot more speed into turn 4, but not enough to make an impression on that second-place man, Austin Hill. Then you have that battle for 4th. Kvapil, Sawalich, Jack Perkins, and now Perkins is really close, almost to the bumper of William Sawalich as they execute the left-hand turn 6. Sawalich trying to run away and hide from Jack Perkins.
Another driver that we had documented earlier today about his drive to the front of Christian Eckes a lap ago. A lot of smoke pouring out the back end. It appears that he has a tire rub on the right side of that car, but farther ahead we continue to watch the ongoing battle for second between Austin Hill and Justin Allgaier.
Austin Hill kicking up dust on driver's left. Right now he's got Justin Allgaier at bay as Allgaier locks up a little bit into the final corner. Right behind them, Carson Kvapil really feeling the heat from William Sawalich.
3 car lengths between the battle for second. Austin Hill in second, Justin Allgaier in third. Then that gap to the 4th place battle between Carson Kvapil and William Sawalich. Sam Mayer, Brandon Jones, they're racing for position as well at the end of the front straightaway for the 8th spot as they make their way through turns 1, 2, and 3. The right combination of corners. Carson Kvapil brings that field back to turn number, or that battle for position back to turn number 4. Kvapil in the 4th spot, Sawalich in 5th, Perkins in 6th, but 4 seconds behind the race leader, Connor Zilic, with 15 laps to go.
Inspiring stories.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. comes back to the Daytona International Speedway. He will win the Pepsi 400.
I'm just the pilot, man. You know, I just want everybody to be happy. I want to do good, and hopefully all of my dad's fans enjoyed this. This for all them.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcast Junior's Journey. Jeff Gordon, a colorful career, 50 years of MRN, the 1993 season, the road to royalty, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
Steven Wilson punched his ticket at Michigan to fight for the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series title. NASCAR's officially sanctioned esports series featuring the top sim racers from around the world. The playoff field has 2 races left to decide the top 4 that will make it into the Championship 4. Tune in on Tuesday, September 2nd at 8 p.m. Eastern for round 2 of the playoffs from Texas, live on eNASCAR.com. Brought to you by Coca-Cola iRacing and NASCAR.
Coming into today, Connor Zilic has tied Christopher Bell with the most wins in the series as a rookie. That's at 7. And that includes, of course, his win last week at Daytona when Zilic was subbed in by Parker Kligerman. Early laps of that event. He continues to lead here, looking to break that record perhaps 15 laps from now. He's pulling away by 3.3 seconds over Austin Hill in second. From Portland International Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Gear up. Visit the NASCAR shop online to find all of your favorite officially licensed NASCAR product. The NASCAR shop is the official online store of NASCAR and your destination for all of your favorite hats, t-shirts, diecast, and more. Whether tailgating, home gating, or anything in between, visit NASCAR.com/shop for the widest assortment and best selection of NASCAR gear today.
Relive the thrills of over 50 years of NASCAR racing with the Motor Racing Network's Classic Race.
36th Annual Southern 500. They come down to the start-finish line. Bill Elliott and David Pearson get down.
We dig into the MRN audio vault for unforgettable races and moments.
Dale Jarrett's got the lead. Earnhardt's not going to get him. Dale Jarrett is going to win the Daytona 500.
Available on MRN.com and podcast platform.
Alan Kowicki out of turn number 4, the new Winston Cup champion. He does it across the line.
MRN Classic Races.
It'll be 13 laps to go here this afternoon at Portland International Raceway, the Pacific Office Automation 147 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series, the penultimate race of the regular season, and it is all Connor Zilisch, the regular season championship leader, the win leader this year, and he has been out front for all 61 laps run thus far. It'll be about 62 this time by. 13 laps to go. Continues to tiptoe away from the rest of the field. Now has 4.3 seconds in hand over Austin Hill in second.
Not only is he the race leader, not only has he led every lap here this evening, but lap after lap, he is posting the fastest lap time. Now, at times, Carson Kvapil has had the second quickest lap. He currently shows back in the fourth position. At times, Jack Perkins has had the second quickest lap. He's back in the sixth position. I mean, this is just an overwhelming performance by Connor Zilisch.
Best battle on the racetrack is 6.5 seconds behind him. It's for fourth, led by Carson Kvapil. Let's pick them up on the course.
Carson Kvapil has that fourth spot, but William Sawalich wants it, and so too does Jack Perkins. 3 cars nose to tail off of turn 7.
Carson Kvapil feeling the heat from William Sawalich, who a few laps ago, he casted his line and it hooked to the back bumper of Carson Kvapil. Continues to reel him in as they go under braking to the left-hand turn 10.
Fight for fourth, hits the braking zone. Here comes the Toyota of William Sawalich closing on the Chevy of Carson Kvapil. They're turning right through turn 12. Jack Perkins makes it a 3-car fight. Is behind them, it's Sheldon Creed, gets off course, loops it around, and he is now pointed the wrong way on the edge of the apex of turn number 12. Gets it fired up, he's going to drive away.
Had been running in the 12th position at the time that he got off the course. Again, that being Sheldon Creed. We've heard the name Jack Perkins mentioned a couple of times. He is part of that 3-way battle for fourth. Let's check in at his pit with Andrew Kurland.
Yeah, his team just came over the radio, said, you got to get by these guys. We have to go, as we documented on the broadcast today. He's a road course ringer, and the team knows that. So there's a little bit of sense of urgency in that 19 pit to get around his teammate, William Sawalich, and that number 1 JRM car of Carson Kvapil. So let's see if Jack Perkins can get aggressive and start moving that car forward.
Right now running in the middle part of the top 10, Sheldon Creed, watching him struggle to get off of turn number 12. This is a driver that had led laps in the 3 previous races here in Portland coming into today. That car got off course a moment ago, and he is working his way to the pit lane. And we have a car stopped on course on the backside. That's Anthony Alfredo, and another one has spun over, it looked like in turn 10. Thomas Annunziata has gone around, the driver that did so well in the ARCA Menards West race yesterday. Won an ARCA race earlier this summer at Lime Rock Park in Connecticut, but struggling here this afternoon as we go to pit road. And Jason Toy.
Well, we talked about Sheldon Creed going off course over on the far side of it. Well, they have a problem with the left rear. It has gone flat, wrapped itself around a little bit on some of the components, caught a little bit of a fire in there too. So they're going to work on the left rear for Sheldon Creed. They can replace the 1 tire. That is down here on the rules they have this weekend.
He had slid the car broadside a few moments ago, and then you heard Kyle talk about the situation involving Anthony Alfredo and Thomas Annunziata. All of that means we are under the caution for the 3rd time, and that 4-second-plus lead for Connor Zilisch has all gone out the window.
Get ready to rev your engines, NASCAR fans. The thrill, the speed, the action. You can now experience it all for free on the NASCAR channel on Tubi. All-day access to NASCAR action, streaming classic moments, iconic rivalries, and behind-the-scenes stories from the greatest drivers. Best of all, it's completely free. Stream anytime, anywhere on your favorite fast platform. No fees, no strings, just NASCAR. Find the NASCAR channel on your streaming device and start watching today.
NASCAR history.
What I learned from Ken Squire, Barney Hall, and Ned Jarrett, I could never repay. Ken never told me what to say or what not to say. I learned very quickly that I was never going to be another Ken Squire. I don't think anybody could rise to that level.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcasts. 50 years of MRN. Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career, the 1993 season, Junior's Journey, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
Under the caution flag here at Portland, Connor Zilisch is the race leader. And then it is Austin Hill second, Justin Allgaier third, Carson Kvapil is fourth, William Sawalich is fifth, still with 11 laps to go. From Portland International Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Get ready to rev your engines, NASCAR fans. The thrill, the speed, the action. You can now experience it all for free on the NASCAR channel on Tubi. Feel the adrenaline with a library of unforgettable races from Daytona to Talladega. It's a front row seat to NASCAR history. Best of all, it's completely free. Stream anytime, anywhere on your favorite fast platform. No fees, no strings, just NASCAR. Find the NASCAR channel on your streaming device and start watching today.
Don't miss a moment of the NASCAR season.
Chastain drove it and never lifted. Put it against the safer barrier and all the way around the turn. Passes Denny Hamlin.
Check out the Motor Racing Network's coverage of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and the NASCAR Cup Series on hundreds of local radio stations around the country. Find your local station by going to MRN.com to catch the excitement of NASCAR on the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Welcome back to Portland. There are 10 laps to go as we work under the caution flag in the Pacific Office Automation 147 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Connor Zilisch started from the pole. He's led every lap here this afternoon, at times building advantages of as much as 14 seconds over the rest of the field. But for now, he's got the whole field bunched right up behind him, working behind the pace car.
Talked about Sheldon Creed a moment ago, currently shown 31st. He was on the pit lane after those issues on the backside of the course. Tough break for Sheldon, who was running 12th at the time and was in a good position to clinch a playoff spot based on points. Fortunately, or unfortunately for him, he just gave all of those points back, falling deep in the running order. So he has not yet clinched a playoff berth with a race and 10 laps to go here at Portland. Of course, the playoff field will be determined next week at Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway. As we take a look at the full field rundown, Connor Zilisch has led all the laps thus far here as we work the third caution of the afternoon. Austin Hill second, Justin Allgaier third, Carson Kvapil fourth, and William Sawalich to round out the top five. Then it's Jack Perkins in sixth, Sam Mayer seventh, Brandon Jones eighth, Sammy Smith ninth, and Christian Eckes to round out the top 10.
With Nick Sanchez 11th, Taylor Gray is 12th, Jeb Burton 13th, Austin Green 14th, Jesse Love has worked his way back up to 15th position, Ryan Sieg is 16th, Daniel Dye 17th, Blaine Perkins 18th, Alon Day 19th, and Ryan Ellis 20th.
Jeremy Clements runs in 21st, Brennan Poole 22nd, Joey Han 23rd, Harrison Burton 24th, Parker Retzlaff in 25th, all on the lead lap, along with Josh Williams in 26th, Garrett Smithley in 27th, Kyle Sieg 28th, Thomas Annunziata 29th, final car on the lead lap, and Sheldon Creed now shown in 30th.
Caution came out for an issue that included Anthony Alfredo. He currently is shown in 31st position. Takuma Koga in 32nd. Dean Thompson has been on and off the pit lane throughout the race and on and off the course as well. It's been a difficult and challenging race. He is in 33rd spot. Out of the race, you've got Will Brown in 34th, Alex Labay in 35th. They're followed by Matt DiBenedetto and Vicente Salas.
Coming up tomorrow here on the Motor Racing Network, the NASCAR Cup Series begins their playoffs in the Cookout Southern 500 from the Darlington Raceway. Our airtime 5 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow afternoon. Then a busy weekend next weekend as we go to the Worldwide Technology Raceway just outside St. Louis. Next Saturday, September 6th, the NASCAR Cup Series will practice and pole qualify for their race at Gateway at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That'll be followed by the NASCAR Xfinity Series regular season finale at 7 p.m. Eastern. That is next Saturday. Then, of course, next Sunday, the Enjoy Illinois 300 for the NASCAR Cup Series. Race 2 in their playoffs, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll next see the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on the NASCAR Racing Network at the Bristol Motor Speedway Thursday night, September 11th. The UNOH 200 presented by Ohio Logistics. That is race 2 in their round of 10.
today's race marks the conclusion of a 4-year run for the NASCAR Xfinity Series to visit here at Portland. It has produced some memorable races. We've had a different winner each of the last 3 years, and yet to decide who's going to win here this evening. We've still got 9 laps to go, and we continue under the caution flag. But Kyle, a little over 3 hours ago, at about 3:15 local Pacific time, track officials opened up the gates here along the front straightaway to allow fans to come trackside, and it was quite a moment to see all the fans that are here today.
And hundreds, maybe thousands of them along the front straightaway as the field of starters, 37 strong, were gridded on the pit lane. And while most of them were not allowed on pit road, they were back on the opposite side of the wall on the front stretch taking pictures of their favorite car. A lot of the drivers went over, signed some autographs. So a great fan base here at Portland International Raceway for not only this event, but for the last 4 years. And a great crowd here today enjoying the final laps of this NASCAR Xfinity Series race, which has been dominated by one driver.
And that indeed is Connor Zilisch. Now, the state of Oregon is home to a lot of race fans, and part of the activities here this weekend has been the Pro 3 series. It is a touring series for amateur drivers in the sports car world. There are a lot of vintage racers here in Oregon. They will follow any number of the historic sports car racing circuits as well. It's a great classic car collector state. It seems like anytime you go to a classic car auction, you will have cars come across the block that have been restored by shops up and down the coast and throughout the state of Oregon. So it is truly an automotive state, and it is a state full of race fans. And they've seen quite a performance, as you touched on, by Connor Zilisch here today. But Zilisch hasn't quite nailed things down yet, Dan Hubbard. We still have, it'll be at least 8 laps to go, if not less, by the time we go back under the green flag. All right, so nothing's guaranteed, Dan. What's it going to take for somebody to beat Connor Zilisch?
Boy, I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe those strips that the CHP, California Highway Patrol, puts on the freeway when they have a high-speed chase, those spiky things. Maybe that's what's going to stop Connor Zilisch. There's a reason. If motorsports teaches us anything, it's that anything can happen. And I am not going to jinx this for Connor Zilisch, but there's a reason we do all 75 laps, and anything can happen. Having said that, Connor Zilisch, quite frankly, is just having a great day, a great car, and all he has to do now is finish it out. So what does a driver have to do? Well, I hate to say it, but probably just try to bump and run through turns 1, 2, and 3. That would probably be the last chance they see him on this restart.
One of those spiky things called stop sticks, I believe.
There.
Something we often see in California on their freeways and highways. As we check in down on pit road, Justin Allgaier will restart third, Jason.
Yeah, he's been hanging in that top 3 spot here throughout the afternoon. James Pullman's the crew chief down here with your driver, and you guys have stayed up there in that top 3, but now you get an opportunity to restart. Does he have anything to catch up, get past that 21 up there with Austin Hill, and also look for his teammate in Zilisch?
Well, we've been on the bad end of this outcome the last couple of years here, so I just told Justin that it's time to be on the good end of the outcome. So, yeah, you never know what's going to happen down here in Turn 1 at Portland. Every year has been the late race restart has shown that there could be calamity or it could be clean. So I think Justin's done a great job all day today, and this Brandt Chevrolet team has done a good job of staying ahead of it and just looking to come out of here with a decent finish.
James Pullman, the crew chief, he talked about those restarts the last couple of years, and heading into turn 1, 2, and 3, his driver's been one of those drivers that's been out front. They come up just a little bit short. They're hoping to have the reverse outcome here today.
Yeah, there was, it's 2 years ago, I believe it was Cole Custer that made the pass on Justin Allgaier in a late race restart situation. And then last year, Shane Van Gisbergen pulled off the pass and went to the front late and came out with the win. But Justin Allgaier is an accomplished road course racer. He has won 3 or 4 times on the road course layout in this NASCAR Xfinity Series. Now, it's been a while since he's won on a road course, but he's fully capable, and I'm sure he'd be the first to tell you he would love to make something happen here.
Allgaier finishing second in the last 2 years here at Portland for the NASCAR Xfinity Series, running third right now, and would love nothing more than to put a stop to the Connor Zilisch Express here this afternoon, and that's what we have seen. We talk about what could you possibly do to stop Connor. I mean, you think of his season in general, the back injury at Talladega, having to miss Texas. You think of what happened at Watkins Glen a couple of weeks ago in Victory Lane and having to be He subbed out last week in Daytona. Every time there's an issue, he bounces back, capitalizes, and is usually in victory lane. And looking to get another win here today as we're set to go for the restart with 7 laps to go.
Pace car lights are turned out. The pace car veers off of the main track, and here comes the field off of turn number 12. Green flag is in the air, back underway. 7 laps to go to settle it here in Portland. On the break, Austin Hill goes blasting by for the lead, and then there's contact between he and Connor Zilisch. Zilisch will not make the chicane. He has to make the loop around to the outside to pay the penalty. More cars are wrecking behind them as the leader heads for turn 4.
Austin Hill has an advantage over a smoking Connor Zilisch, and again, is going through this. This is just the sequence of Connor Zilisch smoking all over through turns 4 and 5 and now 6. William Sawalich rides behind him with Jack Perkins, Carson Kvapil, and now Sammy Smith in hot pursuit.
And on top of all the turn 1 drama, drops are beginning to fall out here on the back straightaway. Austin Hill trying to hold off everyone behind. Connor Zilisch continues to have smoke dumping out the rear.
On the restart, it looked like Austin Hill either caught Connor Zilisch napping or he went too soon. But right now, he leads Zilisch by about 8 car lengths as a passing rain shower comes and then goes just as quickly. There goes Sam Mayer. He loses the back end and he's off course. He takes Christian Eckes with him. Now Brandon Jones and Taylor Gray pile in.
And others go piling in off of turn number 12. Brandon Jones, as Eric mentioned, goes for a spin. Taylor Gray comes to a stop. He now gets the car righted as they go back to turn 1. Austin Hill, the leader. Connor Zilisch, tire rub and all, within 1 second in second. Justin Allgaier involved in that restart spin a lap ago, falls to the 28th position as the leaders are back in 4.
William Sawalich rides in that 3rd spot, although I don't see how he knows what he's doing. There is so much smoke pouring off the rear of the Connor Zilisch machine. Again, Sawalich in that 3rd position. Jack Perkins rides in 4th, racing in 5th. It is Carson Kvapil, but they are all following Austin Hill.
Austin Hill continues to lead the pack back onto the backstretch. The raindrops continue to fall, but nothing heavy enough to impact the track, at least just for the time being. Connor Zilisch still smoking out the rear, trying to reel in, that is, Austin Hill.
About 12 car lengths separate the top 2, and then another 8 car lengths from Connor Zilisch back to 3rd place William Sawalich. He's got a hip pocket full of Jack Perkins for that 3rd position, and it's Carson Kvapil riding in 5th. Here comes Perkins. He's on the attack for 3rd.
The 5 laps to go this time by with Austin Hill, the race leader, by almost a full second over Connor Zilisch. And then there's a gap of about 15 more car lengths back to the battle for 3rd. Here goes Jack Perkins. He races up alongside of William Sawalich. Perkins drives it deep into the chicane. He will pull off the pass, move Perkins up into the 3rd position by the time they reach turn 4.
He has cleared. William Sawalich has Jack Perkins, and up ahead is the smoking Connor Zilisch. Still riding in that 2nd position. Still about 4 to 5 car lengths off the rear deck lid of your leader, Austin Hill. Through the left-hand turn 6 they go. Hill trying to increase that lead over Zilisch, not having much success there. Now Sawalich under attack from Carson Kvapil as Jack Perkins rides in that 3rd position.
And Jack Perkins begins to leg it out over his Joe Gibbs Racing teammate of William Sawalich. A great run for Jack Perkins gets even better. Connor Zilisch, you can visibly see it, has shaved off a car length or 2 over Austin Hill. They go back under braking into turn 10.
It also looks like the smoke is starting to dissipate. Looks clean for Connor Zilisch this time through. He's really attacking the chicane more than he has any other lap this year, or this race so far, kicking up dust. Behind him, Jack Perkins is off track. He goes off of driver's left, turn 12, and he is stopped on the racetrack.
Was running in the top 3 last time by for Jack Perkins. He is off the racetrack as Carson Kvapil pulls up alongside William Sawalich for the 3rd spot. 0.7 of a second between the top 2, Austin Hill and Connor Zilisch. So that margin is closing with 4 laps to go as the race for 3rd is back in turn 4.
It is Carson Kvapil who has it. William Sawalich wants it. Nose to tail for the right-hand turn 4. Meanwhile, Connor Zilisch, it may be reeling in the leader, Austin Hill. The gap was about 4 car lengths. Through the left-hand turn 6, it shrinks to 2.5. So Zilisch, smoking car or not, is catching the leader, Austin Hill, as they exit off turn 7.
And if Connor Zilisch gets to the back bumper of Austin Hill, how aggressive will he be? A lap ago, couldn't tell who it came off of, but a lot of debris laid down on the racetrack. It's been scattered all over the stretch as Connor Zilic is there. Just one, possibly two car lengths separate the two race leaders.
Zilic closes in on the rear bumper of Austin Hill, but the stopped car of Jack Perkins is going to halt this battle temporarily.
That will put us under the caution for the fourth time, and that will bring everything to a slowdown here as the field works its way back around, coming down to put lap number 72 on the board. And as Eric mentioned, the car of Jack Perkins, which got off the course a lap ago, unable to get the car refired and back underway. And as a result, we're under the yellow flag.
Kyle Larson brings his Chevy in. Ford fires Sunoco Racing Fuel.
From fueling NASCAR champions on the track for over 20 years to innovating 94 octane, the highest octane on the market. Performance is what Sunoco does. All Sunoco fuel at the pump meets the same top-tier standards as the fuel used in NASCAR.
Stop here for Ryan Blaney. 4 tires with Sunoco fuel.
From the track to your tank, you can trust Sunoco to help your vehicle perform at its peak.
Hey guys, Corley Joy here. Make sure you catch Stag and Pennies on all the NASCAR platforms each week. We talk to some of our greatest drivers, winners, relevant stories. You never know who's going to show up.
Hall of Famers, everything. And you're going to get the best race highlights, the best content, the best scanner audio, the best reactions, and by far the best pit road breakdowns of any other podcast. Corey, where can they hear us?
You can find us on NASCAR on Tubi, SiriusXM Channel 90, wherever you find your podcasts, or on YouTube. Go check us out.
Under the caution flag with less than 3 laps remaining, Austin Hill, the race leader. Connor Zilic is second. Carson Kvapil third. William Sawalich fourth. And Sammy Smith completing the top 5. From Portland International Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
We are under the green flag. Listen up, NASCAR fans. Now's the time to turn your love of racing into big-time prizes. Because NASCAR Fantasy Live is your fast lane to bragging rights.
Furious racing here.
Pick 5 drivers each week of the season. Then complete additional challenges to stack points. All for your shot at the grand prize.
So let's get this party started.
For official rules and to learn more, visit NASCAR.com/fantasy and sign up today.
The year was 1993. The NASCAR Cup Series season kicked off with the Dale and Dale Show at the Daytona 500.
Dale Jarrett's got the lead. He goes to the inside. Earnhardt's not going to get him. Dale Jarrett is going to win the Daytona 500 by SDP. Earnhardt second.
The 1993 NASCAR Cup Series season. All the highs and lows. Relive them all on MRN's exclusive podcast, The 1993 Season. Available on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
This is Justin Allgaier, and you're listening to the NASCAR Xfinity Series on the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Back with you at Portland as we work our way toward conclusion of the Pacific Office Automation 147 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Austin Hill had taken the lead back at lap number 68. He is still the race leader. It was shaping up to be a battle for the win between Hill and Connor Zilic, who, after getting off the course and turned sideways on the last restart, had managed to regroup and was beginning to close ground on Hill. He had gone from a second back to within a half second of Austin Hill. Then the yellow flag came out. Now the field all bunched up once again behind the pace car.
Austin Hill got a great restart 3 laps ago when we went back under the green flag. That's when he was able to take the top spot. Got a little shove up the front straightaway from Carson Kvapil. That propelled Hill to the front. Then they really stacked up from second on back. Contact with Connor Zilic forced him to miss the chicane. Turns 1, 2, and 3. Had to go around some of those concrete barriers down in that section before rejoining the field. Those concrete barriers off to driver's left as the track went right. Justin Allgaier suffered some contact while battling among the top 3. He spun and now is shown in the 26th position. So the tough break for Justin here at Portland continues. Runner-up finishes the last 2 years after leading so much of those events, and now after running toward the front of the field here for the first 70 or so laps, finds himself outside of the top 20.
And we are headed to overtime here in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. So the first attempt at a green-white checkered finish will be coming up here in just a few moments. It is Austin Hill, followed by Connor Zilic, and then Carson Kvapil, William Sawalich, and Sammy Smith, the top 5. The rest of the top 10, Christian Eckes, Jesse Love, Nick Sanchez, Jeb Burton, Austin Green. How about Jesse Love managed to work his way back up to the top 10?
After that damage, after contact with William Sawalich in stage number 2, really had to work on that Chevrolet during the break between stage 2 and stage 3, and had the right rear fender really knocked out of alignment, and was acting as a parachute, able to put that car back together. And right now Jesse Love has rebounded to the 7th spot. Another good run for Austin Green, running in the top 10 right now, running a part-time schedule here this season. Loves his road racing, does that for the most part full-time. Of course, the son to longtime NASCAR competitor and official David Green, running well here this evening in the closing laps of this race in the top 10.
Always good to see David in the garage area, a true gentleman racer in his day and a very accomplished racer. And now Austin Green carries on that family tradition. Field is working its way back toward turn number 12. Pit road is open. Here comes the field behind the pace car now as they work their way back onto this long front straightaway here at Portland. And everyone, as expected, staying out on the racetrack as they come back across the start-finish line. And again, we are headed to overtime.
Field crossing the line to complete another lap, 74 this time behind Austin Hill, the race leader. One element here as we approach the late hour here at Portland, the sun beginning to set, 6:53 local time here on the West Coast. Jason Toy, the setting sun, which could play a factor here over this next 2-lap overtime shootout.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing right now for some of these drivers and the spotters and the crew chiefs are relaying. The drivers are like, yeah, we know. Coming off of turn number 12, looking straight into the setting sun over here on the West Coast. The difference is it's just a little bit off the driver's left towards the grandstands, but it hits them all the way down the front part of the stretch until they get to turn number 1. So some of these drivers have been running the tinted visor throughout the day. Some had a tint tear off. They decided to keep those on for good reason. Right now we got Justin Allgaier making a pit stop. 4 tires for him. We talked about Allgaier going off. Also behind him, Sam Mayer had his off-road excursion back a little while ago. He's got damage on the right front. Andrew, you got some drivers over in front of you.
Yeah, Brandon Jones is in. They said they're not going to elect to take fuel, but they do want tires. He was one of those guys wrapped up in the chaos that last restart in turn 1. Jack Perkins also came down the pit road 1 lap early. He apologized to his team saying, sorry guys, I just messed up. He's back on pit road now. The engine is off, so a rough ending for Jack Perkins, who was looking to have a pretty promising finish here in Portland.
Kyle and Jason were talking about the fact that the sun is dropping lower in the western sky. This front straightaway does move from east to west as the cars come across start-finish. So, Kyle, you take the chicane, which is already tricky enough. It's that quick right, left, right combinations, which make up 1, 2, and 3. Now you're staring straight into the sun as you go into that portion of the course.
And we saw the contact on the last restart without the sun being that low in the sky, and now it's just getting a little bit lower here as we race into the evening. 2 laps to go, and for a second straight week here in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, we head into overtime, and they were doing so well. 10 consecutive events, finishing without the need of an overtime finish, finishing in regulation. But unfortunately, those late race incidents at Daytona sent the race into extra laps, and we see the same thing again here tonight in Portland.
In fact, it will be at least 3 extra laps in today's race. 75 laps, 147 miles was the advertised distance for this event, but things have reset to where it'll be a restart coming up at lap number 76 with the green, lap 77 with the white, and possibly lap 78 for the checkered flag. But again, Kyle, might be a good time to review the overtime rules here in NASCAR, because we all know things don't always work according to plan 1, 2, 3.
They do not. Once we get into extra laps, and we're about to do just that, they'll complete lap number 75, which is the advertised distance this time. So once the field takes the green flag, they have 2 laps to settle it. It'll be a green-white checkered finish. Once the leader gets to the white flag, which is sometimes a challenge on these road courses, but once the leader takes the white flag, the next flag ends it. So if the caution flag were to come out, once the leader passes the white and begins the final lap, the race will end, the field will be frozen. But if the caution comes out prior to the white flag, we'll re-rack them, and try it again.
We will see what happens here in just a few moments. Kyle mentioned the fact the field just coming across the line. They have just put lap number 75 on the board. And again, here shortly, we will officially head into the overtime period with the green flag. Dan Hubbard, you are positioned on that west end of the racetrack. How's the sun as far as your line of sight?
Actually, and that's a good point because we have not had the sun all day. We have had a very thick cloud cover all day long, and it actually was getting kind of dark here as we approached the checkered flag. Now, the clouds have cleared, and that sun is relatively intense, and I believe it is going to be an issue for the drivers as they come up the front stretch and into turns 1, 2, and 3. Maybe not so much at turn 4, but it is going to be a factor. And it'll be interesting to see what happens when they reapproach turns 1 and 2. I think you're going to have a very, very motivated driver in that car number 88, Connor Zilisch, wanting to get around Austin Hill. This is going to be an exciting overtime finish.
And he'll restart in the second spot as the field begins to double up over on the back side of the course. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Motor Racing Network. Motor Racing Network with you live at Portland International Raceway on this Saturday night for the Pacific Office Automation 147 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And we race into overtime for a second consecutive week with Austin Hill showing the way. He became the second different leader of this event about 6 laps ago on a restart that led into this caution flag here to put us into this overtime finish. Kyle Rickey and Kurt Becker with you high above the start-finish line. Dan Hubbard, Nathan Prouty, Eric Morse has all the action covered out in the corners. Jason Toy and Andrew Kurland down on the pit lane in what has been a very busy afternoon of racing here for the Xfinity Series. We're not done yet. Coming to green this time for what we believe will be the final 2 laps. Can Connor Zilisch retake the top spot from Austin Hill after dominating the first 70 laps of this event?
Connor Zilisch will be to driver's left, Austin Hill to driver's right as they come off the corner, leaning on one another down to the line, looking for the green flag. It is in the air. Here's Connor Zilisch. He scoots out in front, and Austin Hill is in the middle lane. They're stacked up 3 wide heading to the chicane. He loses the lead. He loses second, and Zilisch once again has difficulty at the chicane. More cars turning behind him. Everything filing back out onto the racetrack, and Zilisch has the lead in turn 4.
For the moment, Connor Zilisch has the top spot. It'll be William Sawalich, yesterday's winner. He goes into that second position. Your third place man is none other than Nick Sanchez, followed by Christian Eckes, Carson Kvapil, and Austin Hill gets to the rear bumper of Kvapil, trying to move him out of the way. Not much luck there. Connor Zilisch takes the field off of turn 7.
Connor Zilisch darts back out in front with the race lead. William Sawalich desperately needs a win to make the playoffs. He doesn't have much time to do so as further back contact is made. Carson Kvapil gets shoved out of the groove by Austin Hill.
As Connor Zilisch with an 8-car length lead into the chicane here with William Sawalich and Nick Sanchez chasing. Then it's Christian Eckes and Austin Hill leading an angry pack of cars off of the final corner.
Sammy Smith was third on the restart a lap ago, was one of the cars that got turned around over in turn number 1. He'll fall to the tail end of the field. White flag is out. 1 lap to go for Connor Zilisch. He has a 1.1 second advantage over William Sawalich in second. Nick Sanchez, who made it 4 wide on the restart a lap ago, is up to third. Christian Eckes is 4th, and Austin Hill is back to 5th.
This is going to be a tough job for William Sawalich in second if he's going to catch the flying Chevrolet of Connor Zilisch. Zilisch swings it off wide off the exit of turn 4, hugs it down tight to the right-hand turn 5, and now to the left-hand turn 6. Sawalich about 5, maybe even 6 car lengths back in that second spot. Nick Sanchez locks down the third position, but he is under attack from Christian Eckes. It is now Connor Zilisch headed toward the backstretch.
Many gears have been shifted here today, and one of those is when Connor Zilisch shifted into domination mode at the start of the race. Just a flawless day for the youngster, overcomes some late race drama. Final time as he races off the end of the backstretch.
3 corners separate Connor Zilisch from another win in his incredible rookie season. He's through 10, he's through 11. On the brakes, gets the car pointed. Connor Zilisch, he's headed for home.
Here comes the white Chevrolet with the red and blue accents off turn number 12. The summer of Connor Zilisch continues in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. He wins at Portland. Zilisch takes the Pacific Office Automation 147. William Sawalich comes across the line in second. It was Nick Sanchez coming home third. Christian Eck is fourth. Austin Hill fifth as we go to pit road.
High fives and hugs all around with the small crew that made their way here to Portland. Marty Lindley is the crew chief. Your driver said that was a dominant race car. He just about